And welcome to Berserker League. We are diving into the finals. I'm your host for the evening, Korak, joined today by the ever so great Mr. Austin? I forget how you prefer.
There you go. Hi. Well, you can call me Hate Watcher too. A lot of people know me as Hate Watcher for I'm around.
Oh, Hate Watcher. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a Hate Watcher. Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome in. Honestly, it's an honor being able to cast the Berserker finals. One of my friends who's actually playing in this today asked me, "Are you going to cast this?" I was like, "No, I'm not." And then Loki messages me and says, "Can you cast?" I said, "Whatever." So I'm here.
So you lied to
I'm
your
here.
friend, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, of course, of course. He like
So
everybody wants me to hate watch them. It like powers them up or something. I don't know.
fair enough. I mean, with that in mind, are you going to go softer on them or harder on them because you know them?
I mean, I'm the same way all the way through. So there's no bias here. Everyone's getting the hate evenly.
Either way, just in case you're tuning in, you're not familiar with Berserker League overall. This is a Berserker League tournament sort of thing, and it's going to be an Emerald 4 cap. So, as in you can only go up to that Emerald 4 mark there for that skill rating. So keep that in mind playing forward. I do actually like leagues right around this deal. I know some people are not really a big fan of casting them or watching them, but I really enjoy this because you get a lot of the weird, you get a lot of the risk takers and things that you think just are not going to work. And then most importantly, it feels like a lot of times the games are specifically trying to trip up the casters, right? You've got something in your mind, you're like, oh, they're going to do this, and then they're like, oh, we're just gonna make you a liar. It looks like we are getting into our draft phase, though. And first couple of bands coming out. I don't think we have any bands missing from either side, so that should be pretty regular on both sides. First band's going to be Volibear for, looks like that should be Monkeys over on the left-hand side. I'm assuming that's going to be blue side on the left and red side on the right. And by my nodding companion, it looks like, yes, that is indeed going to be the case. Another band's going to come out. It's going to be Viego. So Viego, Volibear. Not really any shockers there.
Yeah, not too surprised at the moment. Lulu, always been a fantastic support. In fact, on the cards getting nerfed again. So not surprised to see it banned out here. Is able to, support things like the Jinx, which is oh so popular. In things like Berserker, Olympus, etc. It doesn't matter. Jinx is always popular. Things like Twitch, Cogmov, really popular as well. Thanks to the Bork Kraken buffs. So happy to see the Lulu ban, Cassiopeia ban there. Not too surprising. As well as Braumerica opting for that Lilia ban. I feel like a lot of jungle focus coming out of Braumerica, but it will be the Smolder first pick for Monkeys, and Smolder, pretty good champ, but it does depend on whether or not you can get your stacks in a timely fashion.
Well, just like any other dragon, he needs time to scale. But we did forget to mention that there are a couple more bands out. We do have Cassiopeia. Of course, we have the Deer Band. We have Jax. And then for first couple of picks for BAM, we've got, I was supposed to say Karma. That is Udyr and Twitch, just like you were talking about. No Lulu to support him like we sort of expect. But Melio is still on the table. And I think Melio Twitch is still really, really powerful. And I think Melio can put in a lot of work. And then it's going to be Ivern. So Smolder, Ivern for Monkeys so far.
Yeah, I like this comp coming out of Monkeys so far. With the Braum as well, we'll shut down any kind of engage to get on top of the Smolder. Wonder what they're going to play with Twitch. You did mention the Milio. Although I'd really like to see them save Milio for later. Will be Maokai. So potential flexibility in the draft here. Could be Udyr top. Was popular a while ago. Not so popular now, but again, could be worse, right? Maokai, obviously flexible between the jungle position, support position, doesn't really play top anymore, so don't want to... I'll preemptively say it's likely not going top.
Well, I made that prediction before, and thanks to the Caster's Curse in one of the Masters games I was doing, they picked Maokai top and actually did really, really well, making me a liar, because I was like, there's no way he's going top.
He can have really good matchups. Like, it's true. Like, there's a lot of, like, potential Maokai top angles that I think a lot of teams sleep on, but I'll be honest, it's probably not happening in this series, to say the least. As will be the Mundo Hui band from Braumerica and also the Mordekaiser Malphite. So top focus here for both sides. And the Hui band into Frost. Frost pretty great at that Hui champ. So will be Galio. I'll be honest, I'm a little worried for Monkeys now. Unless this is a carry top laner, I think their damage is kind of low if Smolder ever dies.
And then Renekton to tie it off there. So they've got Renekton, Galio, Braum, Ivern, and of course Smolder. Something I'm surprised they didn't have in their pocket, which I've seen work really, really well, is Monkey's actually banned Mordekaiser, right? I think Mordekaiser and Ivern is sort of, I won't say a hidden combo, but that double shield is extremely powerful. And I've seen Mordekaiser just ignore extremely fed Aatrox and go straight for the back lines. And it looks like we've got our last pick over here.
Be the Alawi into the Renekton. I mean, the big thing about Alawi is whether or not you hit your E. You hit your E, you win. If you miss it, you just die. So really, really, you know, dependent on whether or not Kama can hit the E, maintain hitting the E, right? Like, you're not going to kill Renekton in one E. But Braumerica here will be that Maokai support. Will struggle quite a bit into Braum. Speaking of, you know, Braumerica facing Braum this game. As we're loading up into the game here. I don't know. I'm just worried a little bit for Safari. Like, I feel like they just don't have enough damage. Because I like, Smolder is kind of pickable here. In my mind, you know, you just get hit by like the Scatter the Weak combo coming out from Draken here. You just kind of die. So, a lot riding on key here in the 80
And
carry
Twisted
position.
Advance is really powerful even into Braum. I've heard plenty of people call Maokai an extremely powerful support, just sort of in general, specifically because of Twisted Advance and how much work it can put in. And it makes Smolder, I think, just all the less safe than he was before. And he's also got to worry about Syndra too, if he gets a little bit too close. First little engagement has begun as the Galio goes in for the Syndra. Syndra should have enough time to back out. She goes down about half HP, and it looks like it's going to be a gigantic nothing burger. But she does have to back. She does have to reset, and that means she's going to miss at least a couple of XP early on.
Might have to teleport. If I'm Syndra, I'd probably teleport back here, but opting not to, just gonna walk.
The level
Pretty
advantage could be hard to overcome, right? Because, you know, Galio's designed to fight these mages, and if Galio has this level advantage, that
also
will be kind of hard.
kind of a mistake here. Wanted the gold. In my opinion, this is a angle where you just simply let your wave die. Maybe would have cost Syndra one more creep of experience here for the cost of 3 CS, but you know, you can always get that CS gold back somehow. It's only 3, it's not that much, but overall, Syndra down quite a bit of XP just due to not wanting to teleport away or teleport back.
Maokai actually starting with saplings. There's level 2 there for Smolder as Twitch does get caught. There's going to be the passive there. 2 stacks on it so far. Twitch going down to about half HP, but nothing really going to happen from it. But I think that was a flash. Yeah, Twitch did blow his flash, and he's down to half HP. Braum, so scary to deal with. And Maokai not having a lot in his kit yet really to deal with. He's got those saplings trying to keep Braum out of the bush, but it just was not enough because Braum could just leave bush. I feel like it might have been a little mistake to start with these saplings, but maybe they had some sort of other strategy in mind.
The big thing, right, about Maokai is actually engaging the mid lane.
Galio locking down this Syndra. Syndra having to blow her pots and really struggling. It's 15 CS to 7. Syndra has an uphill battle. Renekton going in for the top laner. Top laner is in danger. There's going to be the tentacles coming down. Is it going to be enough to do enough damage? Renekton trying to isolate her down, trying to take her down. Ivern trying to stun them, but it looks like it's not going to happen. There's a flash backwards there from Renekton as somehow she's able to get out of there. Ivern maybe not wanting to get too close to that, but he is going to stick around, maybe looking for another angle, but I feel like he's just leeching experience at this point.
I mean, definitely needs to help him crash the wave here. Don't know where the jungler is. They see the Udyr now, but Renekton forced to back away here, thanks to the low HP. Frost gonna be okay in the mid. But to talk more about the Maokai Braum, Maokai really struggles in the Braum early game. So starting sapling here is not the worst. It prevents you from, you know, needing to walk up for your Q, and you're never gonna try and engage into Braum level 1. Because you'll just lose it. Because, you know, once if you use W, right, on Maokai, you just W the Braum, you just get run down, or you're forced to flash away in this instance. So, good call to start the sapling there. Don't hate it. And it's not like they're going to be able to fight for the wave priority, because Braum is just that much stronger than the Maokai early. So, Gonna need probably about half an item, level 6 here for the Twitch to come through before they can start looking to get really hyperactive into the bot lane of monkeys. As already still, yeah, you see this priority in the bot lane. Still favoring monkeys, so Twitch kind of just on the back foot here a little bit.
Taking a look at the CS, it looks like Syndra has been able to catch just a little bit. She's about 7 CS down on her side, so that's really not the worst. And take a look at bot lane. It's 36 to 29, or I guess 37 now to 29. I think Twitch wants to shoot for like the, sort of like late mid game, if that makes sense. Because at some point, it does look like Twisted Advance does go in, but unfortunately, Maokai's not able to get too much off as Braum actually blocks it fully with a shield. But like I was saying, I feel like that early mid game is what Twitch really wants to go for, because once Smolder has that execute based off of those stats, it can be really hard to deal with. If Twitch can get a good angle there with the invisibility, it can make a pretty big difference there. Smolder getting a couple more stacks up there, as it does look like Twisted Advance does trigger going their way in. Jungle trying to help out this fight, trying to do everything they can. There's going to be Twitch there in the background trying to wrap up and get a whole bunch of damage here on the ADC. ADC not going down. Smolder going to get taken down there by the Udyr. Udyr getting first blood, and now going for seconds, going for the Braum. Braum has to flash away, and Udyr is not brave enough to dive him under tower just quite yet. Pretty smooth there on their side. Ivern sitting here and waiting for an opportunity. He just needs one Q to knock out the Twitch, but he's going to run into Udyr instead.
Flash
Galio
forward.
does have 6. Galio ulting, here he comes. He's coming in for the smash, and he gets a massive knock up there on the tree. The tree goes down. Galio, Frost getting a kill. That's going to be a 1 kill on Monkey's side. Monkey's trying to get a little bit of a redemption here on this side. Twitch having to back off because he was so low. Galio having to produce an ult there. Ivern really setting it up there, I think, nicely.
Smolder just barely not doing enough damage there. Could have been a really big opening play here for Monkeys. But it will land themselves even, maybe slightly ahead for Monkeys, as they will be able to pick up this dragon. Top lane looking even itself as well. I will say, from what I've seen from Berserker, I haven't really kept up with the league throughout the entire season, but I have watched a little bit, as I'll be quiet.
Ooh, Maokai does get caught over here, gets stunned, goes down to less than 30% HP. Udyr trying to come in and save him, but it looks like it's not going to be enough as the tree goes down. And if they're not careful, Syndra might be in danger as well, as she has to flash backwards from Frost. Frost just having this absolute presence on the map. He's everywhere he needs to be. He has great rotations, and he's able to use his ult exactly when he needs to. And I think the dragon is now going to fall to Monkeys. Monkeys looking in a better shape as the game goes on further and further.
Engage on the top side there in the picture-by-picture in the bottom left. Solo kill for Glove. So dominance proves dominant there in the top side. Is looks like Kama utilizing the ult really early based on the cooldown differences. So, but I was gonna mention there that for this Monkeys roster, Glove has not necessarily been the best member on their team, but already starting strong in this game, and that's what I like to see, right? I like to see improvement and people moving on and moving forward, and getting better at the game. So Glub already with the solo kill there, exceeding my expectations. As I also
that's not an easy top laner to 1v1 too. I know Renekton's pretty powerful, but still, that's pretty smooth, I think, for him. I think he took that fight well. Granted, I think, like you said before, I think she did miss a couple of things here and there, which sort of caused that fight, but still, that's a very scary top laner, even with 1 death.
Yeah, will be, Grub's going over the way towards Braumerica, actually engaging the mid lane.
There it is, Syndra getting locked down, going down about half HP. Ivern trying to take her out, trying to take her down the rest of the way. She just needs one more hit. There it is, Galio going to go in, trying to go for the taunt, and there it is. He's got the kill, he's got the knockup, followed into another one. Monkeys looking in top 4. The tree cannot get out. That's going to be a double kill there on their side. Udyr going to try to maybe go in and do something. Not sure what his plan is here. There is the ult there from their top laner. That is going to be pretty powerful to deal with. Renekton has to dash his way out. Galio trying to zone them, trying to keep them off. Braum left by himself, might get taken out here. Ivern trying to rotate around, in order to save his support. He's going to be able to get stun there on Udyr, but is he going to be going for the frying pan into the kitchen? It looks like that might be the case. Braum trying so hard to get out of it, but he's still going to get taken down either way. Frost trying to get in range in order to slow him down, in order to stop him. Ivern popping down a shield there down, trying to save the Galio, and just barely able to do it. Ivern almost getting a kill out of that too on the top laner.
I don't really know why monkeys were so dead set on bailing out their level 5 Braum here. But yeah, we get this replay here. It's a really good look. Really nice root coming out of Cooper here.
Ooh, yeah, look at that
and then
stun.
also the Braum concussive blows landing onto Draken. Flash coming out of Frost here. They kind of just overpower. They do go a little too deep here. It really sets up an incredible play from Kama to turn this around a little bit. Just look at the tentacle damage. Has, what, 6 tentacles out at once, and yeah, just completely smacks monkeys away. But, yeah. They will find themselves
Another
one
reason
grub
why
as well.
that laner is so scary to deal with. Just 1v5, or trying to 1v5 the whole team, and almost getting it off.
Yeah, almost able to pull it off. I mean, honestly, maybe if you don't get first blood, it is actually, or you know, a solo kill there, it's actually doable, but engaged on the top side.
Going in on the Renekton. There's going to be the ult from Galio. Galio, unfortunately, not able to find some purchase, which means he's going to be down a resource there for this fight, as it looks like everybody does begin to reset. It looks like bot lane has cooled off a bit. They're not fighting quite as much, which I'm not really surprised by. I think Twitch is trying to get some items in his hand in order to get going, but he's got to thread that needle in a particular way because, you know, once again, one of the big things after Smolder is the scaling. Renekton skirmishing a little bit with top lane. I don't expect them to go all in just quite yet. Renekton knows how powerful his lane opponent is. Even if he does have a kill, that's still a very, very scary lane opponent to deal with. So he's got to bide his time and find the best opportunity for him in order to win this fight successfully.
Yeah, we'll have the soul yanked out and able to live actually last second. But I will say as well that actually engage on the top side.
No! There it is. The tentacles coming down. Renekton only has one shot left on him. Is it going to be enough?
Doesn't have Dominus.
No, just barely. That's got to be frustrating to watch that alligator run away.
Yeah, I mean, Dominus. I mean, Kama's running down here.
Oh.
I mean, Glub is losing so much here. It's such a well-played position for Kama here. Forcing it. Okay, I feel like, yeah, surely you just collect the wave there now. But, yeah, Glub struggling in the 1v1 right now.
Fight has begun in earnest in the bot lane. It looks like there's going to be an ult there for Braum. Braum has to watch out. He might go from Predator play rather quickly. Smolder's going to get isolated. The Maokai got to go for him, knocking back a couple of the supports, and here comes the rest of monkeys as they make their way in. The tree is isolated. He gets taunted and destroyed by the Galio. Frost doing a whole bunch of work here. There's a flash forward by Syndra trying to press the outplay button, but it's not enough damage. She does get the smackdown on Smolder, though. That's looking a little bit better there for Bam, but this is still going to be uphill. They still have to fight a lot. Monkeys are going to be really, really powerful as, once again, Syndra gets locked down by this Galio. There's going to be the exhaust out. She's all but dead. I'm not sure there's going to be much they can do to save her. No, it looks like, yeah, she's just barely going to be able to get out of it as the dragon continues to take a couple pot shots out of her. Somehow she was managed to get out of that. Frost played that really, really well, but it just wasn't enough damage.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, as soon as Smolder dies, realistically, their teamfight damage kind of goes out the window. I mean, Galio going to be able to do quite a bit of damage, but relying on his CDs a lot. As honestly, one saving grace for, you know, Monkey so far is that this Maokai pick is really kind of just feeding Smolder free stacks, and like they're just getting so many kills off of killing this Maokai on cooldown. Like this Maokai has died like at least 4 times or so. So
look how close that was. There on Ivern.
Yeah.
There it is, and he goes in, grabs a taunt. I thought he was all but dead here, but I don't think Ivern was ready for it. I'm pretty sure he's got a stun at this point. He spent more time going for the ward. Would have been nice to see him follow it up with a stun. I think that would have been enough in order to kill her. But he was trying to get that pink instead, probably worried about the vision leading to his death, which I can kind of understand. But I feel like if he had that queue up, maybe he should have tried to position just a little bit better. And we're going from replay into dramatic pause. Taking a look at the board so far, we've got 21.2K to 21K. So not a massive lead one way or another. If I'm looking at the UI correctly, I don't see where there it is. Looks like we got one dragon on each side, and I think that is Void Grubs. It looks like Bam has two grubs, and it looks like Monkeys has one from what I can tell on that side. Um, and like I said, the gold's pretty even. Looking at the gold over here on the bottom, Renekton's tied pretty closely to their lane opponent. I expect most of these to be tied rather closely. Udyr has about a 6K lead or 600 gold lead. Sorry, that's a bit of difference. 600 gold lead on his lane opponent. Nothing real crazy, but it will help him get to that item faster. And then there's about a 600 gold lead, which is kind of surprising. I thought that would have been more there on Galio because Galio is 4-0. And then, yeah, looking at the Maokai, poor guy is 0-4-2. But he is ahead on gold, at least when it comes to Braum.
Yeah, is ahead in gold, but has given infinitely more gold. So does need to be a bit mindful about positioning. I think the biggest thing is like the getting caught out at that around the dragon pit earlier in the game was the biggest thing for me. Is just like, yeah, as a Maokai you really have no escape, so you can't just afford to be walking around by yourself like that. It's just such a free pick. But we'll say that Smolder stacking okay, 97 at 13 minutes is not the best, especially when you're playing into like a Maokai, but it's definitely not the worst. And obviously, stacks will also get easier the more stacks he has. Able to, wave clear, get more stacks out of his queue as he upgrades it. So hopefully not too bad here for the Smolder. But on top of that, obviously you get to see our pretty little faces here as we're waiting for the game to come back. Alawi with a DC was the issue. As I think Monkeys are in a decent position, but I am a little worried because all it takes is a Scout of the Week and Smolder dies. That's it. That's literally it. You're just completely depending on your Smolder living. And if the Smolder dies, team fights will get very, very, very difficult for Monkey.
Well, and if we're looking at it too, it's not like all of the gold is on Smolder right now anyway. So it's not like he's this terrible creature he's got to watch out for. Most of it's on Galio. And Frost has been playing really, really well from what we've seen, but Gold and Galio definitely would be better on the Smolder, but they've had a harder time sort of getting to those fights. And I think a lot of the fights have started off with Maokai going on to the Smolder, which he wants to do. But sort of like you were talking right before Drake, he wants to do in a very specific area and not get caught, preferably like right before objectives. And he needs to keep in mind that they do have, it's not a global ult, but they have a pretty large range on the ult for Galio, which is always set up. And he's already used that in bot lane to great effect, mopping up a couple of kills. And so we're going to really watch out for that. I'm kind of curious what they were thinking with the team comp. I wouldn't say it's reactive because typically you play red side and you're reactive from red side based off of your picks and your bans and all that. Monkeys, I can't really figure out what their thinking is for their team because like you were saying, Smolder is the majority of their damage. I do like the Galio, but I'm just confused on what their process is. Do they have something in mind in order to go for that win con? What is their win con? Looks like we are finally getting back into it. Did finally get a reconnect. I don't think we missed really any time at all. We've gone directly into it. It looks like Udyr's going to go for the Ivern, but no, just barely not able to get it there on that side as it looks like the lane sort of resets. Smolder rotating top lane.
Yeah, gonna rotate to top for Herald. So is gonna be top side here. Should have an easier time stacking into the Alawi since melee. We'll have to see how Braumerica respond here. This definitely does seem like a premeditated decision, as there was no hesitation and everybody seems to be on the same page. As Renekton taking his reset now after finishing catching up the wave. So, should be quite alright. Kama gonna take They're reset now as well. And looks like both bot lanes gonna be rotating for this Herald, so I assume the next big fight is gonna happen at Herald. But look at Maokai. This is what he really needs to avoid, because if Cooper a little faster on the trigger finger there, Maokai has no flash. That is at least his ultimate burned right before objective, and that's not the most ideal.
Shelly is up, and Monkeys are in a good position in order to grab it. Maokai being the only one able to see anything. Hopefully he's going to be able to pop at least a sapling over the wall in order to see what's coming, but I don't think they really want this fight. I think at this point it's really in Monkey's favor. However, if their top laner does rotate, it can do a lot. Maokai taking a bunch of free damage. Galio going to go in, followed certainly behind as the Smolder Art deals so much damage there to the backline, but it's not enough. It's not enough of a big enough punch there in the background. Twitch in the backline trying to knock them up, taking out the support. Support going down. Braum is destroyed, but now Twitch is by himself as Galio flashes forward, Twitch flashes backwards, going invis, looking for another angle to go in as Renekton mops up a kill there on the jungle. Now going for the mid laner, Galio trying to follow it up. They're going to chase her down. They're going to go after her. Are they going to have the movement speed there for it? Syndra is a hard catch, but it looks like they are gaining rather quickly. Here they go. There's the stun followed up by the knock up there by Syndra. Syndra is going to rotate down to her top laner. It does look like a comma. It does look like the top laner did rotate and scare them off, and she was actually able to get out of it just in time.
Oh my goodness. The Scatter the Weak combo just barely stuns Frost out of his own ultimate. Oh my lord. As here, again, Maokai can't afford to play like this. No one is there to help him, so he just goes down early, and he's basically completely not done anything for his team. Neon does their best here to try and save the play, which I respect, right? Like, the Twitch plays it really, really, really well. Does a lot of damage. Stealthy goes back in for no reason, and then for some reason, Monkeys decide they don't want the Rift Herald yet, and decide to chase the Syndra, who is completely fine. So, Smolder on the board now as well. So Smolder doing quite well in this game. Herald pulled back up. Will go the way towards Monkeys. Let's see if anyone checks the pit. Like, there's no pings about this, so I don't even know if they know this is going on.
I would assume at this point, knowing that they just sort of lost a fight over it, I think it's probably reasonable for them to assume to go. And it looks like we're going to get a tower dive on the Renekton. Renekton popping his ult, but this is going to be so much damage as he's already down to half HP before you can blink, and there it is. He's going to get taken down. The tower is going to go down, followed by a snack on Renekton. Unfortunately, he's going to go down and get taken out from that Braum, blocking a bit of damage there from Syndra. Ivern trying to go in, forcing a flash there by the mid laner. Shelly's going to be popped there in the top lane in order to finish taking this out. Probably going to go for a T2 as well if they're able to.
Does this actually
Maokai
get first turret? It doesn't. Oh wait, first turret's already gone on bot lane. Man, I was like, is this gonna get first turret? And it's literally a nothing burger because, like, I mean, Twitch did beat the Herald there, but third Drake of the game gonna go the way towards Braumerica. But there's tier 2 is under threat in the top side. Mom was called. Bracken pretty low here, but they do successfully defend at the moment.
Drake gonna get taken down and grabbed by Bam. As it looks like we're still trying to push top lane over here on this side. Smolder trying to build some stacks, getting a couple off Syndra. Unfortunately, that top laner missing more and more of their critical abilities, but I don't think that would be a kill, but it would be enough to, I think, in order to back them off. Maokai might run into a bit of danger here as he gets a little bit too close to the jungler, maybe trying to cut him off, but he's got no one to follow him up. Twitch doing pretty decent. It looks like he's got 2 kills on his side, but like you said before, we got to watch out for that Smolder, because Smolder also has 2 kills and is a little bit up on CS. And this poor Maokai, 0 and 5.
I mean, Maokai's hard to play in this game. It's why I don't like Maokai support. Like, he's just so hard to get any value out of, and you could have just played something better or that was easier to play.
So in my opinion, especially as a support player and someone who plays specifically Maokai from time to time, he can put in a lot of work. The biggest thing with Maokai that I think people forget is Maokai's not a tank in sort of the traditional method, as in like he's not Alistair. He can't absorb a million damage. He's not Leona. He can't absorb a million damage, and people play him like that often, and that's not really the case. Maokai, in my opinion, is sort of like a bruiser skirmisher, right? You want to do what a lot of the European servers do, which I believe they call it turning, which is where, you know, like Maokai would go in, blow a bunch of his stuff, back out, wait for his cooldowns, and then immediately go back in, and then like the whole team would be sort of like rotating, kind of like like Roman phalanx, that kind of thing. Would be the thought process behind it. And a lot of people don't play it like that. And then especially into like Ivern and a bunch of stun heavy sides on their side, it's so hard for Maokai to do this into this team because sure, he might be able to go in, but getting out is going to be a real big problem on their side. Oh no, Renekton already going down to about half HP. He is going to try to get the stun there on his lane opponent. Ivern trying to do everything he can in order to help it out, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. Look at all of that damage. She's just an absolute raid boss, not stopping really anything at all. Braum going to rotate, trying to maybe tip the scales in their favor, but even with Braum, I don't think they want this fight. Braum is going to go in, going to get his passive on top of Kama, but it looks like it's really just not going to be enough as Braum just going to take a beating as the soul gets destroyed and taken out, forcing the tentacles to pop their way onto Braum. Ivern trying to stop the tower advance, but really, really struggling. This is a scary, scary opponent into Smolder does rotate. This is their damage. This is what they need. Braum having a pretty decent ult there on his opponent. Unfortunately, Smolder missing his. She does go down to about half HP. There's going to be Galio coming in, followed by a taunt, but it looks like it's going to be a flash over the wall into an exhaust. Braum trying to lock this lane opponent down. If she gets to the plant, yes, he does grab the plant, slowing him down. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the passive off on her, and she might get out anyways. Ivern missing another stun, unfortunately, as the jungle does rotate. Udyr going for the backline. Udyr going for the Smolder. Renekton rotating, but he might gone from Predator Prey as it looks like Syndra locks him down, taking about half HP. Twitch trying to come in and follow up the damage, popping the poison down. So much happening. Smolder doing a whole bunch of work over here as it looks like Galio getting a decent taunt off on the top laner. Top laner really struggling to do a whole bunch of damage, but there, it looks like this is exactly what she needs. This is the final opponent. This is the final moment for them to go in as Renekton is chased off there in the background. Taunt trying to follow up Galio, just not able to get what they need to, going on the jungler. So much chaos on every single side, so much damage on every single side. Smolder is up, but just barely trying to whittle this down, but I think this favors Bam. Bam just has so much in the tank compared to Monkeys. They have the skirmishing power, and they have so much damage.
I mean, the biggest issue right now is the lack of damage for Monkeys. I called that out, and Smolder not 225, so it's so difficult for them to actually kill anyone, even though it looks so good.
This is Renekton's chance. It looks like they did miss the ability, but still, that is such a scary lane opponent. Look, even after the miss, Renekton's already down to half HP, and the opponent is barely going down whatsoever. Those tentacles just absolutely hammering the Renekton. There's the soul. The soul does go down. Will Renekton be able to waddle his way out? Looks like he's just barely got it. Unfortunately for him, he wasn't able to get a kill there, but still, that's a very, very scary lane opponent to deal with.
Glub is 2 levels down now. Doesn't have Dominus, so does need to be mindful. Nice sidestep there behind the minion. As I'm not really a fan of Glub's build here, not really sure why we are building Ravenous Hydra.
There he is. He's going to go on to Kama. Kama's really going to watch out for this, but no, she doesn't care. Just absolutely wrecks the Renekton.
That might just be Soul Point, I think, potentially.
Udyr looking for an angle. Ivern landing a pretty decent stun. Braum trying to follow it up. The passive is good. Followed up by a stun on that side. But now the danger is on Smolder. They need to protect him. They need to peel him at all costs. And it looks like it's not going to happen as he goes down to about half HP. Ivern dying just as quickly. Syndra does have to back off. She does have just one more stack left on the passive. She's really going to watch out for it. Smolder doing so much damage. Able to knock down the Braum. It looks like Twitch is going forward on the Smolder. Smolder going down. Neon doing a whole bunch of work. Putting in a whole bunch of damage. Braum going to get taken down as well. And somehow it looks like they're able to turn around. It's 9-11. Bam, doing better and better as the game goes on, and that's a triple kill on Twitch, followed shortly behind an ace. Twitch is 6-0, and now Otacon is on the table.
Yeah, Otacon will be picked up here. Soul Point picked up as well for Braumerica. As Monkey Safari, they're struggling in the side lane right now. Renekton doesn't even have a second item completed yet. Struggling to get that one finished. As, you know, Smolder does finally have the execute stacks, so is doing quite a reasonable amount of damage now.
Quick replay.
Look at this replay
There
here.
is.
So they find, yeah, they find Udyr here in this jungle. But really, really nice engage and find on to the Smolder. He just gets dropped down so low. Nice flash away from Draken. Keeps himself alive. And Neon just completely free hitting. Something I didn't mention, and it's more my bad, is they really don't actually have a great answer for Twitch. They can't really get on top of Twitch. Especially when he utilizes the spray and pray, so...
Well, and honestly, I think forcing that fight, I mean, obviously in hindsight was a bit of a mistake. Maokai flashing over the wall, but he's not going to have that 4 engage later on, although I don't think they want to engage at this point. I guess they do have 11 kills, so they're not doing too bad, but they still really need to watch out for Maokai getting picked off. But Monkeys, I think, sort of picking a bad fight there. They saw Twitch was mid lane, right? They knew he could go invis, they knew he could rotate, and they just didn't do too much to prepare for it. They didn't have any sweepers ready, they didn't have anything to try and catch him on his little journey over, and just sort of allowed him to mop up the team. And Smolder put himself in a bad position there, taking sort of like the tail end of Maokai's ult, getting locked down in that fight. Monkey's going for a little bit of siege here, almost taking out the mid turret there on that side. But I think at this point, what Monkeys needs to do is I think they need to wait to capitalize on mistakes. And maybe that's what they were trying to do there. Ivern did manage to get a stun there, but like I said, keeping their eye on the Twitch is going to be so important. He does so much damage, especially now. But even then, he had 3 kills right before this. Neon, once again, trying to find a good position. Maokai taking a bunch of extra damage, building a couple of stacks. There's going to be ult there on your tower, but it's not going to be enough because it's a follow-up shortly behind that. There is going to be Smolder's ult, popping his ult, follow shortly behind Twitch. Twitch dealing so much damage here to the back line. It looks like Monkeys is full send on this, but Udyr is left by himself. There's going to be Syndra trying to round up the numbers, trying to deal a bit of damage, able to actually take out the Smolder. Smolder going down. That's the majority of damage for Monkeys. Galio is here in the background, but still no answer for Twitch. Twitch trying to follow it up. Twitch trying to get here in the backline. Monkeys trying to find some value, and there it is. They get the shutdown on Syndra. Syndra going down. Twitch not able to find the angle.
And all the while, their base slowly getting chipped away here by the Alawi. Bot T3 is going to fall, so...
Ooh, jungle almost catching someone right there in bush.
Monkeys trying their best to come back. Wasn't a bad look. Smolder was able to live, but now it's Kama. Has ultimate.
There it is. She is engaging the entire bot lane as Bam goes for Nasher in the top lane, going for that, and still she's doing so much work, buying so much time. Nasher's already down to about half HP, but it looks like there she is, Alawi finally going down, finally getting shut down, but unfortunately Galio gets it. Galio gets 2 shutdowns back to back. Would have been nice to see those go on to Smolders. That's where they need to focus their damage and need to help them out with the items, but unfortunately shutdown after shutdown has gone to the Galio. I guess it's better than not taking them out, but they do lose Nasher for that. That's another objective for Bam.
When you have to overflow so hard into one lane to control a single person, it's so easy for Braumerica to get what they want. And it turns out they find themselves the Baron. They also get themselves the bot T3, so they'll be excited, I'm sure, to spend their gold now as soon as they shove out waves. Probably take a reset here in just a second as items coming through.
50 seconds on the clock so far for Drake Point for that soul. It looks like we're already positioning. We got a couple of wards down. Maokai can be really powerful here with these saplings. People underestimate how much work they can do. It's a free ward that explodes and slows down your enemies. Ooh, Frost doesn't see what's over here. He does see the pet there for the jungler, so he knows something is up. Syndra locking down the Braum. Braum going down about half HP, having to blow his shield, having to blow his full kit in order to make it out of there, and barely just able to get out of there on time. Vision War has seemed to favor, it looks like Braumerica on their side. We do have a TP up for the top lane, so they can rotate, but they're probably happy just pushing in that T3 into top lane. There's going to be a TP over here on this side, as it does look like Gallia is going in. However, Monkeys are not in a great position. They're not grouped up particularly well, and Drake's already getting close down to about half HP. Braumerica maybe playing a little bit safe, trying to look for some sort of angle. Monkeys getting in a better spot. Syndra getting caught out. That's not what they need. There it is. She's going to get flashed down and destroyed, taking down their Smolder, finally getting a kill on the board, and that may have lost them soul point. Braumerica's got to be kicking themselves. The fight is not over just quite yet, as Jungle is trying to find some sort of angle to go in, but I don't think they can do it. and it looks like they're going to go for towers instead. I don't think they can fight for the Drake, but at the very least, they should be able to take out a whole bunch of towers and get some sort of objective for Braumerica, as that top laner is just relentless, going for that top tower, taking out that T3, even with Renekton there, followed by another T3. 2 inhibs should go down here out of this. Galio did rotate. He is back over here on this side. He does have a lot of beef on him, and he can slow this down. The position's not great for Braumerica. Galio going in, going for the jungle, getting the knockup, taking him down about half HP. Smolder following up with a pretty good ult. Braum having also pretty good ult, but it looks like it's not going to be enough. This fight's still sort of turning into a nothing burger. Braum still looking for an angle, but unfortunately he's going to take tentacles directly to the face, going down about half HP before he can really do anything. And now he's going to deal with the tentacles there in the background. There's going to be a shield pop down. They're trying to get the passives off. It might be just enough, but look at that health regen. This is a raid boss. Galio getting a massive knockup, saving the rest of his team, but still some insane damage from the top laner for sure, and Galio actually saving 2 inhibs.
Oh my goodness, Key almost gets a triple kill there off of the triple knock from Frost ult.
Chat says grievous wounds check. Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they do prevent the Chemtech soul from hitting this Alawi for 5 minutes, since they took it 5 minutes, you know, not that long ago, but still just a really tragic moment here. 4 monkeys, just a little bit more damage, and they're just able to take away the game there, but not at the moment. Smolder's not
positioning here. There it is. Look, there's the stun.
This Syndra.
Braum gets a pretty good Q there. I didn't see that. There was just no chance. Yeah. Syndra just got melted, unfortunately, over there for them. But I think Braumerica did a really good job here. They noticed that the fight was lost, and they just turned it into a couple of tower kills. And while it could have gone better for them, I think that was probably the best of a worst-case scenario. And here they are. They regrouped with the raid boss. Galio trying to knock a couple things in. Pretty good ult by Smolder and Braum following up on that side. It looks like we're actually getting another fight on this side. Twitch going to get locked down by the Galio. Frost already taking so much damage, having to pop his stopwatch. There's going to be the poison there on Twitch. Looks like there's going to be an ult there for Smolder. Smolder not able to hit really anything whatsoever on their side. The raid boss is in full effect. Maokai going to get locked down, going to get stunned, going down about half HP. Twitch trying to save him. Maokai going to get taken down. The raid boss going to get targeted, going down about half HP. Jungler trying to come in order to help. Looks like it might just be enough. No, she does finally get taken down. Smolder getting the execute, getting a double kill. Now they're going for the jungler. Syndra trying to get something there in the background, but unfortunately not able to find a purchase, not able to find the stun where she needs to. As she goes from Predator to Prey, she's got to worry about the Braum getting that Q off on her, but she's able to position herself a little bit better this time. That's going to be great because she did cost them the soul point last time. And that's actually kind of surprising. Turned into at least a little bit of a nothing burger, what I think was a pretty clean fight for Monkeys. They saw their opportunity, and they were able to capitalize on it where they need to. They just need to watch out for that soul point. And if we're looking at the gold so far, it looks like it's, what, 52 to 58 on their side? Are getting replay. Look at this. So Twitch throws down the poison there on Galio. I thought Galio was going to get taken out, but he just managed to do so much. And look, so much damage. There's going to be the Braum ultimate knocking up the Maokai and their top laner. Maokai getting caught, getting in a bad position, trying to maybe save some damage there for it. His team not committing. Braumerica not going in really too much for this fight. Syndra trying to get some stuns off. They do manage to try and take someone out, but it looks like Ivern just sitting over the wall, popping shield after shield, just had a lot of effect. Braum actually flashed forward, which I did miss. Going for that. Would have been nice to get a Q, but he did give up on it there in the end.
Yeah, I think a big thing there, it's just a massive mistake from Braumerica. Like, the Alawi bought so much space for Monkeys, or for Braumerica there, and they just didn't capitalize on it at all. Instead, just too scared to walk forward. And Smolder Insurance is starting to pay out. Baron pulled.
It does seem like the later the game goes, the better they do. Once again, there being a dragon that scales. Smolder doing a lot of work on his side, but once again, you might run into the Tony Romo syndrome where you've got to watch out for your lead player, for your primary set of damage getting taken out. They are doing a better job defending this Galio, getting in everyone's face, doing exactly what he needs to. Syndra getting a stun, but she might go from Predator to Prey. She does have to flash backwards. Twitch is here. That is going to be a lot of their damage. He's going to go for the Smolder. Smolder going down about half HP, but it looks like Braum is exactly where he needs to. It looks like, no, he gets popped over over the wall and sent directly into death. Syndra gonna get locked down, gonna get stunned there by the Braum, followed shortly behind their side, followed shortly behind the jungler. There's gonna be so much damage here on Smolder. They do collapse on him, but they're not able to get it. But it looks like the base is gonna go down anyways. Nexus getting it targeted maybe over there. No, that's not the Nexus. Sorry, the Inhib gonna get targeted. I thought they were taking out the Nexus. My apologies. Got a little too hyped there for my side.
Would have been crazy if it was the Nexus. Smolder trying to solo Dragon. We'll have to see if he's able to do that. Should have enough HP, as this will inevitably be a dead comma. So Drake picked up here. So once again, another 5 minutes bot. No Camtech Soul. And Monkeys. Smolder insurance paying off and paying out. But I'm still, again, a little worried here. All it takes is for that Smolder to fall over, and then they lose all of their damage. So,
Well, and something we just haven't had time really to mention is Ivern's had some pretty powerful shields, right? Like, I know that's not the most surprising statement, but I do think it is a key factor here in these fights. Braum going to go in on the Maokai. Maokai going to get targeted, followed shortly behind the jungle, trying to go in, and they're absolutely melting. Monkey's going to get destroyed. Twitch doing so much damage. Smolder not here for this fight. The majority of the team going to get taken down there by the Cinder. Cinder getting the stun, followed up another one. Renekton is in danger. He does have to dash away and is able to get out just in time. Neon trying to find another angle, having to worry about that Galio. Galio is so powerful, especially there with Smolder, and that's going to be some pretty decent kills there on Braumerica.
yeah. Honestly, the big thing here is anytime they try to fight without Smolder, they're going to lose, which they just found out. But Smolder still able to do so much damage. And you triple inhib them. So you do have a lot of space on the map if you're Braumerica, but begs the question here. I feel like Braumerica kind of throwing a little bit. Throwing into the Smolder, letting Smolder do what Smolder wants to do. But yeah, really, you're 3v3, your strongest member is not with you, and you're just walking up mid lane for nothing. Just a massive misstep from Monkeys.
There. No, that's Braumalt, sorry. No, that was Smolder and Braumalt. So they had a good position, but I don't think Smolder was really ready for that fight, which was a whole bunch of their damage. So they just sort of died for free on their side. Gold definitely favoring Braumerica, at least for the current moment, and I would probably owe a lot of that to the macroing for their top laner. And I really think Braumerica needs to get this soul, right? Because they need ways to continue to power up, to continue to get stronger once they reach those full builds. They do have the feats, so they do have the specialized boots, which will help them out a whole bunch. It would have been nice to get those on Smolder, but unfortunately, they just weren't able to find that damage. And I think, you know, like mini games, I think this might be decided there by the Soul. Soul being so powerful. About 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock there for it. Braum rotating around, trying to go for the top laner. Missing a Q there, unfortunately, as they do not decide to take that fight too much. The jungle and Twitch are here in order to help out, and it's going to be a lot of damage. But we got to keep an eye out on Monkey's Smolder. Smolder's so important, like we've mentioned many times before. Double ward over the wall. Dragon's still ticking down on their side, and it looks like the siege is going to continue there on their end. Looks like Monkeys are down 2 inhibs, only 1 remaining there in the top lane, and they do have their raid boss favor. The Syndra does get a decent stun there on the Renekton. Renekton losing about 30-40% HP. Smolder popping an ult there, trying to get some damage down.
Oh my God, look at the damage.
Maokai Redemption there in the background as the engagement does begin in earnest. Ivern going to get taken down there, and the raid boss just still continues. Maokai gets taken out there as the jungle goes for the backline. That's Smolder doesn't need to go down, but he's going to turn it from Predator play rather quickly. He's doing so much damage. Twitch being the only one left. Anyone can kill it. It is going to be this Twitch, but no, it's not going to be enough as Galio goes in, gets melted, gets destroyed, and now Smolder has a GA.
Oh, she mistimed it!
No, she does miss it, just barely there at the end. Syndra not timing it, feeling the pressure. She could have taken out the Smolder, but he got taken out instead on their end. Smolder getting another kill, getting so close. I think he's already full build too.
Yeah, but we're gonna get a breakdown here. Like, realistically, right, Draken is able to escape by, but Kama so far ahead. And really, what's standing out to me is Stealthy is so scared to get active and create space to allow his team to, play the game. But by the time he actually does choose to play, it's too late. It's too late. Now you're in a 1v3 situation, essentially, where you're just going to go down. Neon.
Look at this Galio just blink out of existence. There it is, bam,
Yeah.
blink.
Yeah, just barely goes down there. And yeah,
that's devastating. She just didn't time it correctly.
Yeah, the mistime there, very unlucky, but Soul spawning through.
This is so critical on both sides, and everyone knows it. Smolder wants it, Twitch wants it, everyone wants it, and it's going to be so critical here for this fight. We are getting a little bit of prep here for jungle for Braumerica's side as they do get the blue buff. Maokai is spotted. He has been sort of the weak link there for Braumerica, but his ults have been absolutely on point. Raid Boss is able to find the Galio. Galio is so powerful, have to deal with it. There's going to be the ult there for Smolder as the fight truly does start. No, there it is. Maokai going to follow it up there shortly behind, quickly behind, I should sorry to say, Galio doing a whole bunch of nothing. This is really turning into a sloppy fight. Glove going to get targeted, going to get destroyed, isolated there from his side, and now the numbers advantage is definitely in Braumerica on their side. Galio still doing a whole bunch of damage. The Raid Boss is in. Galio trying to lock them down. Braum trying to lock them down, popping down his shield.
Smolder damage though.
He can still do a lot of damage. They're having a hard time getting into it. Galio going in once in. Galio just doing so much weight. Massive taunt there on that side. That's going to be a double kill there for Smolder. And I think this fight is all but over as Syndra does have to back her way off. The Raid Boss goes down. That's a quadra kill for the Dragon. Unfortunately, no Penta on his end because he's still got to worry about the tentacles. And that's sole point for Smolder and his team.
Oh my goodness gracious. The Smolder is getting out of control as Glub goes way too far here, forces his team into a 4v5, and it still does not matter. I'm glad we're getting a replay here because I actually do want to see what's happening on the side. But the Smolder damage is just so brutal. Kama separated from his team here. But Glub goes so far. Goes so far for nothing. Unleashed power utilized to lock down the kill. Kama with a decent blast cone here. Over. But doesn't find the angle. Instant taunt into the stun. So Kama can't really play the game, but Stealthy.
I missed the exhaust too in there.
Yeah, like Stealthy is just running around, really not doing anything on the Udyr now. So we'll just go down here as well. But Smolder honestly could have pinted here. It was so ungodly close here. So much damage. Is one more.
And he does go for the Syndra.
Yeah. If he actually Qs the Syndra there, which he was in range for, he actually would have gotten the Penta, but killing the Alawi was too important.
I don't blame him going for the Alawi. There's going to be ult there by Maokai. Galio gets isolated over here with Braum as well. Smolder going to follow it up with an ult of his own, and there's going to be a shutdown. Twitch able to get some gold in his pocket. Smolder trying to chase down the Braum. Braum going to go down. Now Twitch is in danger. Going down to about half HP. It looks like the Syndra in the back line getting so much damage. This is absolute chaos as Renekton TPs in to tie up the fight. Monkeys once again doing so much work here on their side, leaving the jungle and the Raid Boss being the only ones left. However, I think Alawi is in a good position to end. She can kill both the Renekton and the jungle on their side, but what a crazy fight. There it is. She's going in. She's going to pop her tentacles down, start dealing a whole bunch of damage there to Renekton. Renekton going down pretty close to about half HP, followed shortly behind the Inhib. Inhib going to get taken down. They do have Baron buff, so they can delay this ever so slightly, but they need time to get more players online. They need that Galio. Galio does have 10 seconds, so at the very least, there's going to be a couple Inhibs there on their side. Alawi finding the grab that she wants, getting the jungler. Jungler's already made his way back, but he's already down to less than 30 or 40% on his side. One Inhib is left, but I think going for it might be a little risky with who's up now.
Honestly, I think the play for Smolder is to sell boots, buy something like a Bloodthirster or something to keep yourself alive. That little bit of extra healing. Also to point out, I think Cooper has been utilizing the Redemption far too early in these fights. Really not giving any meaningful HP back. As the replay comes in. The switch does so much damage if he's able to open up like this. And a really nice flank from Draken here, but the block from Mac really nice as well. Keeps Key alive just long enough. As we're back into live action, sieging mid.
There's a T2 on every single side. On their side, Galio going to get grabbed there by the tentacles, popping a plant, trying to stay up and ready for this fight. He is going to be the primary front line for his side. Braum does do a lot of work, but he's only got so much CC on his side. Should have a couple of ults cooking. It looks like everybody on Monkeys does have theirs ready to go. So there's full ults actually on both sides. So this could turn rather quickly. Syndra actually getting a pretty good stun there, going for the Ivern. It looks like they do manage to pop and kill the Soul, as it looks like Monkeys is still positioning, looking for some sort of fight. Renekton here in the back line, looking for something to grab, looking for the stun. There's going to be exhaust there on the Raid Boss. Raid Boss is going to get taken down. They got to get destroyed sooner rather than later. There it is. Alawi finally going to get taken down. Smolder dealing so much damage. The jungle being left, being isolated, going to get taken down, going to get taunted, going to get destroyed, going to get a double kill there on Smolder. And the sieging's going to continue for Monkey as they're able to mop up 2 kills. They do have to worry about their base there in the background because that bot lane's pushed in pretty heavily. Galio's going to rotate there for it. Syndra getting another stun there. Braum popping his shield down, going down about 30-40%, as it looks like Galio is fully forced in order to back off on his side. He can TP back when he needs to, but I think we got to watch out for these Syndra ults, or Syndra stuns. They have been pretty solid when they've landed.
Yeah, also GA available once again for Smolder here. 25-5. The Smolder insurance is really coming through for Monkeys now. The longer the game goes, it's just going to get worse. As they're going to lick their wounds, walk away here. Not able to siege this mid turret. So we go to an Elder, 50 seconds on the last fight of the game. Potentially.
And then a minute
unless
and
it's an
30
even
seconds
trade
on Nasher on that side. Elder is definitely what Monkeys needs, because their primary set of damage, Smolder, is not going to get any stronger. He's full build. He does have Soul, which is always really helpful, especially on Smolder. I just don't think Braumerica can win at all if Monkeys is able to get this Elder. You know, unless Monkeys messes up really hard, then you know, like I think that's going to be something to watch out for sure. One thing I do want to say about the Maokai is, despite him getting caught a whole bunch, I have liked his warding and his positioning better. If you look at it, actually, he's got 162 vision score. That's not directly wards, but that's still a lot of vision there for his side, and a lot of wards he's eaten on his side. So the vision's been very good in combination there with the saplings, and I think it's given Braumerica a lot of opportunities to get some of these objectives, which would have been uphill. And I really think the only thing that's been hitting them where they don't need is just the positioning, where they get caught out. Right now, speaking of their positioning, isn't the greatest. Their top laner is still in top lane, continuing to push down on the base. There's going to be out there for Smolder, making a bad, gigantic nothing burger. Galio not able to find a position there, as Alawi's trying to end the game there, trying to distract everyone. Renekton is there to try and stop her, but that's a hard-ass. Braum getting the pretty decent knock up there on Maokai. Maokai going down about half HP. Twitch going to get taken down there. Unfortunately, that's going to be so much damage there, as Monkeys does find another kill. They go for the jungle. Jungle does flash away, but I think this means that they're going to be able to get Elder for free if their base doesn't get taken down in the process. Renekton still fighting for the life of his base, and everyone else. Syndra does rotate over there. Galio does TP down there on the bottom. Smolder is still here in order to do a whole bunch of damage. The number advantage is on their side. It looks like Maokai gonna get going in, gonna get destroyed there, leaving the jungle by himself. So messy. And it looks like top lane and mid lane continuing to push there on the bottom. Tower after tower going down, leaving only one tower left. There it is, gonna get taken down. The Nexus is all that remains. There's gonna be so much damage on the Alawi. Alawi's not gonna let this go down without a fight. They're trying everything they can. Syndra trying to find the angle, trying to go in. Galio actually able to keep them off. There is gonna be the flash backwards there as Syndra gets taken down, leaving 2 only remaining for Braumerica. Raid Boss still continuing to do a whole bunch of damage, but Smolder is a Raid Boss of his own, going for the kill, going for this Alawi. Braum trying to get an angle, trying to get in this queue if he's able to get it. Jungle trying to slow them down. There it is, and the Raid Boss goes down. The Raid Boss is taken out, and once again, Elder is on the table as Galio protects the base.
We can take a deep breath for Monkeys here, as almost disaster. Smolder choosing to back cancel it about 3/4 of the way through, but now we're at a flip potentially at Elder.
Twitch popping his ult, dealing a whole bunch of damage there to the jungler. Smolder following up with an ult of his own and followed into a shield by Braum. Braum getting a stun there on the jungler. Jungler gonna get taken out and destroyed there. Smolder doing so much work. Renekton chasing down the enemy team, chasing down the Maokai, while Galio sits at home trying to stop the base from getting destroyed. And I think that's pretty much a free Elder there for Monkeys, which means Braumerica, already struggling to fight these fights, is going to have an even harder time now with that. And it looks like they're going to try and turn that into a Baron.
Will be Baron potentially coming through. No Udyr for a while, 40 seconds on him. Teleport is available on Kama, so they might look the backdoor here. Baron burn is not going that great for them right now.
Syndra is here. She can get a pretty decent stun off if she can find the right target, but unfortunately Smolder's a little bit too far back as Nasher down about 30-40%.
Oh! Oh my god, that could have been
stolen.
stolen! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, that could have been stolen. Oh!
That was so close.
Oh my goodness. Jesus Christ. I was so scared there that was about to get stolen. Smiting 100 some HP early.
Would have been exciting to see, because I think at this point, Braumerica are going to be the underdogs. If we take a look at the buff for Elder, it looks like it's about halfway up if I'm looking at the correct buff here on Smolder. And keep in mind, Smolder does have GA this entire time. It hasn't been popped very often. His team's been doing a much better job at peeling, recognizing that he is all of their damage, especially with that execute. But he does still have GA for the fight. So even if Twitch makes his way in there, he's got to kill Smolder twice. Twitch looking for some sort of angle, maybe trying to backdoor. Not sure what he's going to do, because I think Monkeys might be able to sort of end this. There's going to be Smolder ulting there, trying to help with the siege. Follow shortly behind the Maokai ult, Galio and everyone else blocking that. But Smolder's actually in a little bit of a bad position, but the team is not here to capitalize on it, as it looks like Syndra gets isolated. She's out of position, going to get taken down. Twitch trying to end the game. It's going to turn into a full-on base race in the bottom. Alawi looking for some sort of angle, and it looks like it's actually going in Monkey's favor. There it is. Smolder absolutely knocking it down. Alawi not able to rotate in time. The Nexus is going to get destroyed, and the first point goes to Monkeys.
Oh my god, what a game one banger. Turret comes back and respawns and bites Braumerica. Oh, turret respawn affects the game.
Braumerica ironically losing to Braum, not specifically Braum, but losing to a team with Braum on it is appreciated. I enjoy the irony there for that one, but the MVP definitely being Smolder. Look at that damage, 110k on Smolder. I knew it was going to be high. I didn't know it was going to be double what the rest of the team did.
Yeah, absolutely disgusting there. I mean, honestly, besides the really one bad pick play that Key had that game, I thought Key played fantastic. On the Smolder, really, mindful of the Syndra with the Scatter of the Weak, not putting themselves in a worse position. So overall, yeah, really well played by Key this game. I don't know. I feel so sad for Braumerica because, they realistically could have just won the game. But then they just started throwing the Smolder. And, here in Berserker League, things like the Smolder insurance, if you're not going to end cleanly, you are just going to lose. And they definitely find out. Smolder definitely means business here, and Monkeys pick up game one after, a devastating game for Braumerica.
Well, I think that's something people forget from time to time, is how important consistency is, right? Because especially, I think the higher and higher you get, the more mistakes really have a huge impact on the game. Not that they didn't have a big one there. Either way, it sounds like we're going to go on a really quick break. We'll be right back for game number 2.
Peace.
And welcome back, Summoners. We are moving into round number 2. I'm still Korak. He is still Aussie, and this is still Emerald 4 Cap. And I think this is Berserk League. Yes, it is Berserk League. So far, we've had a pretty good showing from Monkeys, able to turn that away, able to get a pretty good victory into a full-on base race, taking down the raid boss, taking down Bam. And it looks like we're keeping the same sides. If I'm correct, it's going to be a loser picks side. So that means Bam chose to stay on red side, which is over on the right, and Monkeys chose to stay on blue side. Volibear ban definitely makes sense. And I think down below there, it looks like this is Fearless, if I remember correctly. If you're looking down below in the UI, so we've got a couple of picks that have already been grabbed, which we won't get to see. And if I remember correctly as well, this is going to be true Fearless instead of like team situationally Fearless, which I've done so far. Volibear, Lulu, not really surprising. Zeri's a little surprising there for Bam, but maybe they had a bad experience, followed it into Viego. That's standard. I do want to know what the thought process is for Zeri, because I feel like she's a little weak right now.
Yeah, Ban's staying the same for Monkeys here. Zeri, I think, is still fine if you're good on Zeri. So, again, that requires you to be good on Zeri. I'm a very big Zeri fan myself. I enjoy Zeri on the Rift, so she's not too bad. She's not the best thing in the world. I'm not going to try and convince anybody, but Lilia will be picked up here. Will be Zinzao, so Cooper going to be able to play the Lilia that was banned away last game.
You heard it here. Aussie says Zeri is the best ADC, and to fight him if you think otherwise. Next picks are out. We've got MF, and then it looks like we're thinking about the next one coming up. So MF, always a really solid choice. I expect to see a bit more poke, a bit more aggression there from it. MF Jarvan, nothing unusual there. Great combo. That's bullet time with Cataclysm.
For sure. Because, J4 is okay into the Lilia, right? You can trap her if she doesn't have flash inside the Cataclysm. Yone going to be paired here with the Lilia. Offset a little bit of that AP heaviness. So, happy to see. Oh, man.
Seraphine. Is that a Seraphine?
Why are we
from
blind
Frost?
picking Seraphine? Oh, my goodness gracious. Like, yes, it's okay. Like, there's no Braum. Just put the Leona in the bag and slam Solar Flare on Miss Fortune's forehead when she clicks ult.
Put the Leonas in the bag.
Like, please. Please. Why are you picking Seraphine here? I get it, right? You want to deny the Seraphine from the MF. I understand. But, like, it's really not that big of a deal. Encore doesn't do the damage. Bullet time does the damage. So they don't technically need Encore at all. So, I don't know.
The Poppy ban's a little weird for me. From Bam, unless they're planning on going to a whole bunch of Dash champions, which, Poppy is great at countering, and maybe with Vex and Jarvan. But I don't feel like it's enough to justify it unless they've got something else that's got a dash that they're cooking up. And it's going to be Nami. So Nami, Karma, bottom. It's going to be a bit of sustain, a bit of poke into. I don't think this is Seraphine mid. I think they picked for the jungle, or sorry, for the support. But I don't know.
Oh!
Well,
It's
okay. So
Seraphine
yeah,
Leona bot lane. Okay.
is this
Saved.
okay?
Saved.
Leona
Kind
being
of.
very, very
I mean,
powerful,
I'm
being so
still
so
not a
tanky right
fan.
now.
I'm still
Still not
not
a fan.
really a fan, but like, it's better than what I expected.
Well, I'm a support main, so I'm totally happy to get Seraphine Sona bottom, but that's because I like Cancer. It looks like it's going to be Scion there for their top lane, and we're waiting for Bam to round it up. So Scion into Set. I do like Set into this. I think that is pretty solid to round out their team. I really like the combo here for Bam. They've got the Nami ult to start fights. They got Vex ults to start fights. We got Cataclysm to start fights, and they all combo off of each other really, really well. They do have to worry about running into Yone and Seraphine's ults, which are going to be really powerful, and the picks are going to be pretty good on the deer, but I think I like the synergy better on Team Braumerica.
Yeah, I mean, they have better synergy, but Monkey is showcasing that they can go long, even in the messier games. So I'm actually going to favor them on execution here. I think Encore, really solid ability to be able to cancel out the bullet time. I think the X factor for Braumerica here is going to be the Set. If the Set can, land on top of the Scion with the ultimate, ult that into the back line, do a crazy ton of damage thanks to the Scion HP bar. Maybe Braumerica runs away with it, but I'm not so convinced.
A little bit of stacking over here in top lane as Jarvan's the only one in his bot lane popping a ward, making his way over to the 4-stack on this side. Maybe expecting a little bit invade. I guess Yone would be something to watch out for, but I get very, very surprised if we see invades at all. Over the last couple of years, I think early level invades have really gone downhill as far as like how much value. I think it more often than not they're risky and needlessly risky. For small advantages, especially with the way the new companions work, or I say new in a relative standpoint, but the jungler companions, and the way the actual camps themselves work. Because oftentimes you just give the other jungler more XP, more levels, because those jungle camps come back a little bit stronger. Um, I'm trying to think of what lanes here would be important to watch. I think actually none of the above. I think the junglers are going to be the important bit to watch. We do get a ward there that they're down by Yone, so they're going to know where Jervin's starting. And I don't think we got a ward by Bam over to see where the deer is starting, but maybe there's a little bit of vision there. I can't see just quite yet. Vex continuing a little bit of engage, trading back and forward with Yone. I don't know how that matchup is supposed to go. I don't know if there's anyone particularly strong into each other there on that side. Looks like there was not a ward there on that side, so they don't know where the deer is starting. Clear's going pretty quickly for both sides. I think the deer's got a bit of a quicker clear, but it's hard to tell there with Jarvan. We're going to have to watch out for the downtime for sure.
Yeah, Lilia going for the super clear angle, clearing both the chickens and the Krugs as she can, because she just faster clear speed. Really good on those AoE camps, so. But really solid ward. To talk about a little bit about kind of your invade conversation, since it's early game, kind of quiet here as ward goes out in the top side on the blue buff. Is realistically invading for like kills. That's actually engaging the bot.
Leona going in on the Nami. Nami popping a bubble on top of herself, but she's going to go down to about half HP as Seraphine, let's say MF, as Seraphine does a good chunk of damage to follow up that Leona. That's why Leona's so scary. And now Nami's down at least one pot so far. Yone going for the Vex. Vex going down to about half HP, but Yone down even lower. Looks like he's got at least one pot left on their side, so the health advantage is going to be on Vex's side so far. But sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, the big thing about invading is it really morphed from invading for kills to invading for vision. And vision obviously gets better the higher you go, because you can get more of it, clear more of it, etc. So invading really kind of took a nosedive in terms of being useful, just due to the fact that realistically, you're not going to be able to turn a kill off often, but getting vision down to track junglers has been such an important part of the game. Gank in the mid lane potentially coming through.
Here going in for Vex. Vex able to sidestep and dodge at least most of that damage. Jarvan doing the exact same thing on his side, rotating here, looking for the Seraphine to grab. His team is not pushed up maybe as much as he needs to. MF does have a lot of movement speed. There it is. Jarvan going in, shredding that armor, trying to follow it up by Nami Bubble, but not able to get it there in time. Seraphine flashing away just in time, but that means she's not going to have that for later on.
Yeah, no flash. Really nice gank coming out of Stealthy. Is on a ward, so we'll have the back canceled here. But yeah, really solid gank. Noticing bot lane being shoved up here. Not able to fully crash their wave, but Neon just going to hit the wave back, so will reset back out. Top side going well at the moment for the Scion.
Set's struggling a little bit here in this fight, and granted, I don't know top lane nowhere near as I used to. All my knowledge is all the way from like season 3 and 4. But Set surprisingly, I think, losing these little fights back and forward. Although that's kind of what you want with Set. Not necessarily to lose, but you know, like one of the common strategies I see for really like baiting someone in is sitting at like an extremely low amount of HP, and you know the other player just sits there and thinks, well, maybe, just maybe, and they keep thinking maybe, and that maybe builds and builds and builds, and then they go in and do something that probably shouldn't have. And Set's got the shield to turn that around really quickly, which is why he's so deadly. I think there his CSing hasn't been bad, and I think he's been giving up HP for CSing, which I think is a good call. Sion using his TP to come back top, which means that whenever Set does back, he's going to have more gold in lane to sort of continue this fight, because I think it was like 34 to like 27, which will make a difference. And Set's still sticking around trying to get more and more gold there on his side. Bot lane does reset and backs away on their side as their lane opponents do the exact same thing. Jarvan over in the bot lane. Yone continuing a little bit of trading back and forward here with Vex. Vex doing a good job just continuing to pester the Yone. Yone is now level 6. Set doing a decent amount of damage there on the Scion. The deer does rotate, but she doesn't find an angle that she needs to move into, and that's 42 CS on Set's side as he cancels his resets and goes for just a little bit more.
Yeah, always the one more wave mentality. Bowling ball will miss. Might actually hit the dragon here. It does end up hitting the Drake. So they know the Drake is being done. They're getting collapsed on here.
Is in Monkey's favor. Leona looking for some sort of angle to grab their way in. Yone looking for an angle in order to mop up kills. Numbers advantage is switched over to Team Braumerica. Now Leona is isolated by herself, going down to about half HP, trying to keep the Vex out of the fight, trying to do something there on her side. Numbers have finally switched over to the other side, and there's going to be the actual smite there on the Dragon. Dragon go down. Leona's going to have to watch out for her. She's got one Ladybug's worth of health on her side. And it looks like Yone going for the kill. First blood goes to Yone, but he's going to die for it. The damage is not over just quite yet. Seraphine knocks up a massive stun. So many kills on Monkey's side. Flash over the wall, trying to go for the MF. MF's got so little HP. It looks like they're going to tower dive, and she gets a triple kill on the deer. And barely threads the needle, just like Leona, making it out of there. That's going to be 4-1 at 7 minutes.
Such a solid play here for Monkeys. A little reminiscent of last game, except didn't go nearly as well. Realistically, like, Mac plays this so well. Is covering, you know, the potential engage coming out, and then, you know, the engage over the wall here with the flash.
Lunge.
And then Frost catches the ult for Mac, so Mac doesn't go down instantly here. And Frost goes a little deep, to be honest, but does find Stealthy quick and easy. Frost will go down. But they're grouped up for Lilia Seraphine. Really nice root coming out of Key, and it's just completely over. Like, the Lilia damage stacks up, forces out the cleanse as well with the sleep.
There's
and
the
triple kill. Like, Lilia is so far ahead now.
She's going to be set up in plenty of positions over here to try and go for more and more objectives. Void Grubbies are up. No one's decided to go for them just quite yet. Leona maybe waiting for something to happen. Gonna run into the Jarvan if she's not careful. Gonna try to save her pink ward, dealing at least a small amount of damage there for the Jarvan. Jarvan gonna try to go for the Yone. Going for Frost would be pretty good. That would be a good objective, but it looks like he goes from Predator to Prey as he goes down about half HP. The Deer comes in. Yone gets the kill. MF tries to help it out. Bullet time there. Absolutely missing everybody. Yone now going for the kill. Pretty decent bubble there on Nami, saving her MF, but MF is now down an ult. That's so many resources there on their side. Vex trying to thread the needle, and now Void Grubs is all but monkeys. I'm not sure if they can turn it around. Set's not in position. Vex doesn't want this fight, so those grubbies should go to monkeys.
Not really sure what Stealthy thought was going to happen there. Frost is getting lower and lower here. Ult's going to be utilized. Frost.
Ooh.
Oh, he just barely dodges the Q.
Once again, Yone just barely escaping, barely trying to get out of there. Leona trying to deal a bit of damage there on Vex, but Vex able to get away there with the help there from Nami, that heal being so powerful, helping thread the needle, plus followed by all of those bubbles. I thought we were going to get a fight over here. Jarvan is going around, but he's got to run into Leona. Mac, once again, not being afraid whatsoever, threading this needle, walking into everyone's faces, and so far it's been working out for them and his team.
And Cooper picking up the grubs as well, all three. No camps getting stolen away by the J4 on the back of that, so really solid gameplay coming out of Monkeys.
Is going to get it, take a bit of damage there for him in top lane, and now Sion's going to chase him down, but you got to remember, Set's always waiting to get low HP, but he's really struggling to trade him here to Sion. Seraphine flashing just in the nick of time, avoiding the Jarvan, but that once again, I mean, she's going to be down that resource. She's going to be down flash once again, but that's not the worst thing there for their side. They are able to stop the back there for Jarvan, and Jarvan getting a little irritated as I get out of there, but that's once again another resource down on their side.
Cataclysm is up. Bullet time coming up right about now, as he honestly kind of been playing okay on the Seraphine so far, keeping us MF shot, but they do need to be careful of the gang.
For another rotate, the flash is down, Jarvan is in, Cataclysm is up, Seraphine is in danger, gonna use her own ult, but she's got Predator Prey. There's gonna be the exhaust there, followed by the bullet time flash over the wall there by Leona, as it looks like the Seraphine does get taken down. The Deer did rotate, able to knock out this Jarvan. Jarvan getting a pretty decent shred there on the Leona. Leona's gotta watch out for it, but the Deer is out for blood as she gets 2 stuns. Bowling Ball gets a kill as she mops up the Jarvan. The Deer is the MVP. And it's not over just quite yet, because MF is still in danger. That Deer is in range, and she's going to maybe try and predict where she's going to be at. She's going to watch out for that. Either way, that's going to be free plates for her.
Yeah, will be free plates towards the Lilia, who is right now carrying this game. Mac Mittens makes a massive mistake here. Is actually solo kill in the mid lane. Frost just gets it done. Doesn't care about what I have to say. Solo kills Draken there. As Kama wrapping behind him.
That's going to rotate. Ross does have plenty here to deal with this. Leona is going to hex attack over the wall. There she is. She's going to go in for the Set. Unfortunately, the Set's going to ult, making Leona miss her lunge. She does finally get a stun there on the end. Set so close to going down. Yone flashing forward, going to go for it. There it is. He is going to get a kill. Frost being clean here in these fights as they mop up another kill, and Jarvan just can't catch a break. Vex is back, but not in time. It looks like he did below TP there on that side, and that's 10-3 so far, folks. Things are looking great for Monkeys.
Great for Monkeys, but really grim for Braumerica. Just seems like a complete... How would I put this? Last game, they were looking way better than this. On the wrong foot here.
Taking a bunch of damage there from it. Nami going to get hit by the ult there by Leona, followed by a stun, but unfortunately not able to get killed there, which kind of bites for them, but maybe they're trying to rotate there for the Yone. Yone get taken down by Vex. Vex getting a shutdown, but Vex may die for it here in the middle, trying to dodge everything they possibly can. Nami trying to keep him alive, but just not able to stay in range in time in order to stay alive, and now Nami is threading the needle. Got to watch out for it. Jarvan going in. Get a Cataclysm there on the Deer. This could be a pretty good shutdown. Followed shortly behind. Seraphine just barely saving the Deer right there. And the Deer following up with a kill of their own. Flashing a BM Monkey on their way out. Dropping the mic.
Yeah, Cooper just barely walking back into the encore to make sure it gets the extra distance. Really well played macro or micro wise. Yeah. So realistically in this like replay, Mac just ripping ults for nothing is really shocking, right? Like Stealthy plays this really patiently. Key does eventually go down to the bullet time, but I don't know what's going on here. Cooper on a complete rampage, prancing ever so happily in this game. So far ahead now. I think 8 kills potentially. There 8 no, something like that. And I don't know what Kama's doing here. Like ults like frost away for really no reason. And Stealthy decides he too wants to inevitably go down. Nice W here from Frost to guarantee the Kama kill. But Draken able to get the fear. Gonna be okay. Also able to find Frost. Very nice as well. So they do
Frost
find
having a
some
lot of
gold.
having a lot of solid plays. This is not one of them, though, here as he gets destroyed by the Vex, I remember correctly. Yeah, going to get taken down there as Leona blows their ult on there. There's going to be the flash forward, and Vex gets the shutdown. That's going to be so much gold there on Vex side. Nami does ult, but unfortunately it's not in the best position, trying to zone down that Vex. Vex gets so close to going, taking down the Lily, but it's not going to be enough because Lily is just so fed. Jarvan going in, getting the Cataclysm, and just barely not getting the kill. That ult there from Seraphine absolutely saving them, and it was timed really well. Key being a key player there in plenty of these fights, I think so, but definitely Liliana is the MVP. Yone rotating down. Pretty good bubble once again by Nami. I have really enjoyed these bubbles, especially as a support player. Cataclysm coming in on the Yone. Yone trying to get out of there. Followed shortly behind the Seraphine. Alt bullet time on their side. Yone going down. Seraphine down an alt. Leona being left over here. And this might turn into a 4v2. Vex not able to get off the ult that she needs. Jarvan still looking for an angle. Battling the Leona. Mac trying to keep them outside of this fight. Leona trying to dash forward. Trying to grab that Scion. Looks like he's going to TP and rotate going for this Jarvan. Jarvan does have to flash in order to avoid that. It's going to be more resources down there on Bam. But these fights are really close despite the gold disparity. I think that could have gone really well for Bam, but I don't think they had enough gold there for it.
Yeah, I'm always curious how Monkey's naming conventions work, you know? Like, why is this team called Safari? I don't really know. All I do know is they're happily ahead in this game, and maybe potentially Coop finding another kill in the mid lane here. It's going to be quick and easy. Herald used to mid, so Solo Tower going to him as well. And,
it could be Curious
like
George themed. Oh no! Wait, did I just see that?
I mean,
did Seraphine
Nami's
get a kill
dead.
off of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. She existed for so little time. I wasn't sure she ever existed at all.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, we missed a fight top.
Glub just doesn't care. It's Scion. Mac is here as well. The set is really not paying off at all. And it doesn't matter.
Getting
like,
bullied here,
Glub could auto-attack this guy to death. And Grass proc.
Look how little his auto-attack does still in the set. Yeah, set goes down.
Yeah, the regen there, but really solid play coming out of Monkeys this game. This was the Monkeys I expected to see coming into this game, but last game a little scary. Able to take that one regardless. 9-0-3 is Cooper. Cooper completely carrying the Monkeys right now. I suppose that's why they banned the way that Lily in game 1, but curious as to why they gave it game 2.
Now, yeah.
It's a menace. It is a complete menace.
Leona going to get grabbed by a bubble, going to follow it up by a lunge of her own. Leona's going to watch out for it. She does manage to flash and get away from the Vex, and Yone Frost, once again, having these really smooth plays, is able to get a kill there with the help of Leona. Take a look at the gold so far. It's 34.7 to 27.7, so quite the lead on Monkey's side. There's going to be a deer rotating set, cannot catch a break. Set going down about half HP. Going to ult there into Liliana, dealing a decent amount of damage, but it's just not going to be enough as Cooper just continues to rotate, continues to dodge, and continues to get killed. They're now 10-0 with a 700 gold bounty.
Yeah, I kind of agree that if Coop doesn't carry this game, bad things are going to happen to him. Like, you know, every single red light he runs up onto will always be red. So he has to wait. permanently or some inconvenience. I don't know, like stubbing your toe or something. But Draken,
Or fate worse than death, stepping on a Lego. There's gonna be a flash backwards
yeah,
there for Vex, but it doesn't matter. Look at
it's
all of
just
that damage.
it's just so criminal.
Jarvan going in, got a Cataclysm followed shortly behind there by an ult there for MF. MF doing a whole bunch of damage, but will it be enough in order to stop this? No, it looks like we're gonna get a flash over the wall there for the Nami. Nami gonna get hit by the bowling ball. The deer looking for the blood, looking for an angle to go in. There it is. She's gonna flash forward, gonna get the Nami. Nami gonna go down. Jarvan looks like it's gonna standard bearer over to the wrong side, just barely missing the deer. And Jarvan really struggling. I think he's probably struggling the most on his team. He's down 63 CS, or a little over 60 CS there on his side, and he's got 5 deaths into the 12 kills and 163 CS. There's a TP for Vex. Vex going in, getting the fear there on Leona, also taking a little bit of damage there on Seraphine. Seraphine able to get out just in time. Leona backing out, unfortunately leaving the deer by themselves. This is their opportunity in order to kill Cooper. That deer does need to go down. Leona gonna get targeted, gonna go down. The deer absolutely nuking the Jarvan. Jarvan down to about half HP. Frost in the backline, looking for something to grab. Sion ulted in, looking for some sort of angle. Unfortunately, he's not able to Tokyo drift exactly where he needs to be as the deer just continues to melt the competition. Jarvan going down, Set going down. There it is, taken down, destroyed, trying to continue this fight, fighting admirably, but it's just not going to be enough, leaving Vex isolated and by themselves. He might have just enough time to get out, but that Sion is going to be pretty scary to run into. There's going to be a flash forward there by Sion. Sion gets the knockout, followed again by a pretty good bubble by Nami. Nami's had really great bubbles despite getting taken down, but they are going to get stunned. They are going to get killed there by Seraphine. If they just have just barely enough damage, Seraphine might go from predator to prey, almost running into another Nami bubble, but still able to get out there in the end.
Yeah, look at the setup here. Frost, unfortunately, no flash available here. So just going to go down to the bullet time combo. But still, Cooper just completely unanswered. Like, I mean, he's just doing whatever he wants.
Just completely ignored Jarvan right there in that engagement. Jarvan's like, I'm going to go on you, I'm going to knock you up. And
yeah,
no,
this is a very fed Lilia. Has no care in the world. Looking like a solo queue game here.
Maybe spending too much time here on Leona in this fight, I think. There is Frost there in the background. Frost does go for the Nami. Nami, once again, having a pretty good bubble there in the background. Cooper just, look at that, just melting the Jarvan, leaving Set by himself. Set has a pretty good fight here, takes Lily down to about less than half HP. So if anyone could have done it, it would have been Set, but it falls apart rather quickly. Nami not able to get that angle because Frost pushed them out of the area, and MF just really struggling to find a good angle there. Nami saving the Vex there with a bubble, doing a lot of work here, at least for her team, despite getting caught, despite getting killed a bunch of times. Her bubbles have really been on point, in my opinion.
I mean, definitely agree. Knight in, you know, shining armor at the very least for Braumerica. The problem is Braumerica's comp from behind is not great. I don't know. Frost getting low here, though.
Set gonna ult the Yone, and now once again Nami's got a pretty good rotate, popping the heal down, popping the ult down on their side. Seraphine gonna follow up with an ult, and unfortunately Nami does miss the bubble that could have won the fight them there for it, but it doesn't matter because Seraphine able to get so much damage. Jarvan looking for some angles, gonna try to get his way in there, gonna go for the
nice
Yone, but Yone walks out of it like there wasn't even an ult there.
MF is ulting top wave to prevent Sion from getting it for one more wave. And Braumerica, I mean, Stealthy could just very easily go down here, actually. And he does. He actually just dies to the true damage pop. Stealthy not having a great game. I feel like Stealthy's just not had a great game in game 1 or 2 here.
Maybe feeling the pressure from being live and having to worry about casters casting his comment as Vex gets isolated.
Cooper.
Look, Liliana is a magician. She made the health bar of her opponent absolutely disappear. Vex didn't even stand a chance. Vex now 3-6, was doing really well there. Pretty decent there on his team, but still into a 14-0 Liliana. You may as well not have a score.
Yeah, Lilia here just so... Sorry, 15-0. Need to correct myself. Yeah, this is a quick one here. Monkeys want to get this one done easy peasy, as they're already threatening all 3 inhibs here.
Well, I wanted to note here, even though we have a 15-0 Liliana, Frost once again has been doing really, really well. He's had some very clean ults. He's got caught in a couple of bad spots, and Vex has played well into him. But I think a good chunk of his plays have been very, very solid. So like I said before, I think he's really one of those ones we need to watch out for. I did not expect the Liliana to do so well, so maybe we need to watch out for Cooper as well on their side. I think the positioning for Mac Mittens, I think that's the name, yeah, Mac Mittens, has also been really good there on Leona. They have seemed to do a lot of work of turning, not great situations into T, like when they were over on the other side of the wall and they were just keeping Vex out of the fight,
Yeah.
which was a lot of their damage, and then flashing over the wall. I think that did a lot. They set up a lot of angles here for the jungle in order to capitalize on. And so it's definitely been a team effort there, but the gold has gone on Liliana. And speaking of gold, it's 50K to 37.1. That is insane for a 23-minute long game. Jarvan going in. I'm not sure why, because this is absolute death for him. There's going to be a flash forward there. Leona's going to, Nami going to pop her ult up, but it doesn't really matter. Bullet time going to happen its way in, but it's still just not enough damage.
Oop,
They're
you're
having a
still
hard time
alive.
locking this up.
He's
Frost
dodging
coming there in the
everything.
background. So much damage on every side. Redemption only getting the Nami. MF trying to get out of it. Oh no, Vex going to get targeted there by the bowling ball. Leona trying to follow it up, but unfortunately, it's turned into a gigantic nothing burger.
Lilia is just able to dodge everything, prancing so quickly around these fights. Something she's so well known for. That's why you need good CC, and realistically, looking at Braumerica's comp, one thing they're lacking is good CC. They don't really have reliable CC. They can utilize, right? Like, they're so dead set on, like, providing this MF a way to play the game, but they forgot that, CC is also fantastic for bullet time as well. And Lilia, like I said, completely unanswered in this game. You're relying on something like a bubble hitting. You're relying on the J4 flag and drag to hit.
Oh, and
You're
that's Soul
like,
in the background there that I completely missed, but that's not
and
really that
it's
surprising.
Cloud Souls, so it's even worse. Lilia is, like, just gonna zoom everywhere now.
Sion going for the Nami. Nami maybe over positioning there, getting stuck there on the behind. Jarvan having to pop his way out of there as well. And now Monkeys is in a really good position to grab Nasher. If anyone could steal it, it could be Jarvan, but I don't think his smite is up just quite yet. It just needs a couple more seconds. They don't have visions because Nami was taken down there before they could really get too much off. Mac once again having pretty good positioning as Yone goes in for the set. Set going down to less than half HP, gonna get taken down there. Seraphine having a pretty decent ult set, still just barely alive. There's a bullet time there for MF, but MF is absolutely throwing peanuts, doing absolutely no damage as Jarvan gets taken down and destroyed. Liliana able to go for more and more kills, leaving only 3 left on the side of Braumerica. And now they're going for the turret, they're going for the point, and they're trying to close this out early, and it looks like I don't think they're going to be able to stop it. Frost getting a pretty decent knock up there as Nami gets taken down there. MF not able to do too much despite her trying her best. She's 3-1, but it doesn't matter when you've got a 16-0, and that's going to be the Nexus. And another point there for Monkeys. The fat lady has sung, and it is sung for Monkeys.
Monkeys, dominant one here. I mean, honestly, this is what I expected. I expected Monkeys to be playing like this tonight, from what I know of them, and goodness gracious, Cooper just running through the rift.
Chet saying, well, at least there's no more Liliana. That's true. It's fearless, so you won't be seeing it again. But that was devastating. I've got to say that was pretty one-sided. It could have gone either way, but I really thought the synergy was much better there on BAM, but I don't think they were able to utilize it. And I think one of the big things is Set seemed pretty missing from a lot of those fights. I know he was struggling top, and he did rotate a couple of times, but he just didn't have the presence I expected from a Set, just sort of in general. Whether that's just because the Liliana was so overpowering, or maybe Jarvan wasn't in a good enough position, but I feel like they had a really great combo with the bullet time from MF, with the Cataclysm, and then following up either into Set or Set bringing stuff back into his team, which I didn't really see him do. So repositioning the team could have really helped there, especially if he could grab like Liliana and put him in the back line of his team so they could focus her down and then go from there. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. That is going to be 2 points there on Monkey's side. This is a best of 5. So the next game, for Monkeys at least, will be match point. If they take it, they'll take a 3-0 lead on their opponents. I think we're going into a quick break. Producer will tell me here in a minute, in a second, but we'll let you know here in 1 second. Yep, we're going into break. Give us 1 second, and we'll be back in a couple minutes. And welcome back, Summoners. We are moving into round number 3. This is potential match points for Monkeys. It looks like our sides have stayed the same. I can hardly tell because my stream has been paused on my end, but I believe Monkeys is over on the left-hand side, and on the right is still going to be Bam. We should see a couple of Fearless picks there. There we go. Screen is back. Keep in mind, all the Fearless picks are down below us, so look below my dumb hat in order to find that. First couple of bands out. Don't expect those to change too much. Volibear, about to say Liliana. Lulu, words are hard. Zeri, probably followed by Viego. Yep, there it is, right on cue. So I don't expect those to change too much.
Probably going to be a Zenzel ban. They banned it last time, which unleashed the deer onto the rift. So, but I would be shocked if it's not. I mean, maybe they have a different game plan, but I'm really shocked Braumerica not taking blue side. What does Monkey Slam now? As Cooper looking phenomenal in that last game, completely popped off, made it such a short game, and essentially not able to be come back for Braumerica, as it will be Trundle blind pick here for Monkeys.
Trundle's still a very solid pick for Monkeys, and I think Monkeys are in a good position to play it. Followed into the Tristana. That's not real surprising. Tristana is very solid, pretty easy get out there for their side. I would love, and I was saying this off camera, I would love to see a Sejuani, and we're getting a Taric. And this is not Monkeys. So if this was Monkeys picking Taric, I would say there's a non-zero chance it's going to be Taric top, because I've got a little word on the wire that they do like their Taric top. But I do always really enjoy Taric. I'm a big fan of him. But my biggest problem is I think he's a lot like Ezreal, where I don't think a lot of good Tarics exist below like the Diamond 2 level. So I think it'll be a very interesting fight Not that Tark isn't strong. He's very, very powerful, especially in the team fights, especially if he can get his heal up, especially if he can get his stun off. He can do a lot of work. Frost grabbing Aurora, not real surprised by that. I think Frost does have the skill in order to play that champion. That champion, if they have the right angles, can do a devastating amount of damage into a Lux. So I'm guessing that's probably Lux mid lane.
Yeah, looking like Lux mid lane here, but I will say I don't know necessarily why we're blocking Sivir here. I mean, it does have Spell Shield. You can Spell Shield the Taric stun, but I don't know. I'm not really that convinced by it at the moment. Nothing in their draft really gave away saying, hey, yeah, this would be a great Sivir draft. To me, I feel like you just pick Jinx and run away with the game, but not going to be that this go around. Support bands coming out from Braumerica, as well as top bands coming out from Monkeys. So far, Mordekaiser going to make another appearance in this game, but it will be Briar. Now, I believe this is going to be Briar jungle, but there are a couple players in this league that play Briar top, so I don't know if that's something that we're going to see. But it will be Sivir Milio. Can cancel Tristana Rocket Jump, so has that ability to do so. Don't hate it.
Can also
That's
keep Taric off of the team too. With the the kicks,
also not so bad into the Briar. Could be worse, but or could be better, but definitely not necessarily the worst option. And it will be Nasus, so Briar is going into the jungle there, and will be Nasus coming out. Says, I don't know. I'm a little confused by Braumerica's draft a little bit here. I think they completely derailed because they went with a decent like engage style, you know, try to front to back kind of game plan with the Taric, you know, with the Tristana. But then they're just picking things like the Lux, which is really only great in a pick you poke kind of style. You pick the Briar, which is really great in kind of 1v1 scenarios, pick poke, specifically or like pick potential. And then now, you know, Nasus is Nasus. But we'll have to see. It's time for Braumerica to answer the questions about, can they come back from this deficit? Are they good enough to move on? Or, I mean, move on. This is literally the final. Like, can they come back and win this? Win the finals? There's no moving on except to the next game if they win this one, so they need to lock in.
I do actually like the Sivir pick into this one, at least seeing what we've seen so far from Key. Key had that smolder pick early on, going for the scaling, and Sivir, once she gets some gold in on her, especially if she has some sort of lead, she really, really begins to scale and scale hard and just do crazy, crazy amounts of damage, especially with combination of Melio. Sivir once supports that amplify her damage, and Melio helps with that, helps with the movement speed, provides them a get out of jail free card. And with Taric and Tristana, they want to get in your face, and Sivir kind of wants them grouped up, which I think puts them in a good position for that. And I think with Briar too, you know, Briar may be able to start their way in going after Sivir or Melio or whatever it is, but it's going to put Briar usually in the thick of it, usually grouped with her teammate, unless she's like super, super overzealous. Taric going in for a stun, getting a stun there on Melio. Unfortunately, Tristana not going to follow it up with a bit of poke. It would have been nice to see at least one AA there from Tristana, but maybe that's not going to happen here at this elo. Either way, pretty decent trade to start off with. However, this might be downhill for Taric until he can get his way in there. Melio is down to about half HP, but Tristana's been taking a bunch of free damage for Sivir. And Sivir just has all of this crazy wave clear potential, so she just has to back her way off. And Tristana can't really freeze with the AoE damage that she does do.
Yeah, it is interesting to see what the Sivir can get done this game. Key been a phenomenal player so far throughout the series. You know, Smolder game, complete standout moment for sure. 100% MVP for that game. As Frost taking a bit of a bad trade here. Lux is actually the counter pick into Aurora for those who are unknown about it, because you can always hit bind off of her E, so just as an FYI, if you're good enough at Lux, of course, that is fully dependent on you being great at Lux and being able to react. Frost getting that ward once again. Knows that Briar is on the chickens or just finishing. So does have that.
Lux actually making a little bit of a common mistake I see from Lux's. She's been using her Q sort of to fish, which is great to have, but just having the threat of that Q around, especially into Aurora, can be really, really powerful. And what Lux wants with that Q is she wants you to charge at her so she can hit you in a straight line there with that Q.
Actually, we missed a couple things here. I want to point it out. So Frost already has his flash burned. It's about halfway done, so I think probably got caught out trying to get that that ward. Or maybe Fat Finger, but in mid lane, Stealthy already trying to gank the flashless Aurora, and it does not work at all.
Frondel going for the crabs, but he might be biting off more than he can chew. Crab going down about half HP. Tarek going in for the stun. Their team fight potential is going to be really powerful here. Tarek does have level 3. They're going to be able to do so much work over here, but the numbers advantages on their side. Tristana rotating way, way too late. There's going to be the exhaust there on the Sivir as first blood goes to Monkeys. Monkeys forcing the flash there by Tarek, going to get taken down. Sivir has a 2-0 lead. That's not what you need on a hyper carry.
That's right. Definitely not what you need, and you don't want your Briar to fall behind. Cooper, no smite for the Scuttle Crab, is able to pick this one up and potentially double Scuttle here. Has smite coming up now. It's just going to take a reset. So, but 2 kills going to Neon, or sorry, 2 key here. Puts Neon behind already. I feel like Neon's been a little quiet. I thought the Twitch game was all right. Could have waited, you know, a little over eager. As actually, Glub doesn't really have the mana to follow up on this on the top side, so no kill happening into Kama. But the big thing here is Neon, I think, really needs to come alive and you know, carry this game, right? This is, you know, Braumerica backs against the wall in the finals here, so we're gonna get a replay of this and of what happened in mid. Yeah, Frost had just used Flash and Stealthy. Oh, that feels so bad. Not able to catch the Aurora. And having no Flash here actually is what leads to his own demise here.
When I actually really liked that fight for Team Braumerica, I think the key problem was Tristana just didn't rotate quick enough. She was not in position. They had the damage. She had exhaust ready to go. Tarek got a really good stun off on the Trundle. Granted, Trundle does do a lot of regen, but like the team fight potential for Tarek is so
flash
powerful.
now.
Oh no, Tarek getting isolated, gonna get destroyed, can't go anywhere. There's gonna be the pillar down, and that's gonna be feats of warfare for Monkeys. They're 3-0 in score, and if Bam is not careful, they're gonna be 3-0 in the score for the game.
Yeah, they definitely need to pull it back. We'll say so. Myself here is, you know, Tarek also getting picked out twice now. I mean, you know, first time was kind of just a bad 3v3. It happens, you know, but saw that a lot in the Maokai game as well, of just like being in the wrong place at the wrong time and just getting caught out. But Ornn gonna be able to avoid any gank with a nice little dash away. Drake, though, going the way towards Monkeys, and Monkeys once again solidifying their position ahead here. Not by much. Only about 1,000, maybe 1,300 gold there, to be more exact. But so far, Monkeys looking great.
Tarek going in, Melio missing a Q, but nothing real major there on that side. And I actually don't mind the rotate too much for Tarek. That's something I wish we'd see a little bit more from these supports, is a little bit better rotation into the mid lanes, into the top lanes. And while that one didn't pan out, and there was probably a better rotate there for Tarek, Tarek is trying to do something, trying to get out of the lane.
Uh-oh.
Fighting over Earners. Tristana targeting there. Unfortunately, Tarek is going to miss that. It's going to be really bad on their side. Flash backwards there by Melio. Melio trying to get out of it. Briar going a little bit too deep into this fight. Going to get taken down. Going to get destroyed. Trundle doing so much work. Tarek by himself. Going to get taken down. Going to get destroyed. Key getting more gold. That's not what you need. Sivir having so much money in the bank on her side, and that's 5-0 for Monkeys at 7 minutes. That's almost a kill per minute.
I'm really worried for Braumerica right now. You know, like, also the thing about Nasus is kind of like a fake infinite stacker, especially in comp. Yeah, he does infinitely stack, right? Eventually, he can just one-shot anybody he wants, but in competitive in general, he's actually more kind of a mid-gamey champ, right? You just get enough stacks to where you're doing a lot of damage, you know, you really press the advantage of Wither in those mid-game fights, but then late game kind of comes around. You don't really have towers that you can just kind of push into, assuming the, you know, macro for monkeys is good, right? Like, that is an assumption I'm being made here. That's actually Mac taking a bit of poke damage, doesn't need to be mindful. As, yeah, I'm just, for me, I think keeping so far ahead is just so grim here for Braumerica, I think, as well, right? Tristana hasn't died. That's a great thing. Tristana not dying a single time is fantastic, but building Collector from behind doesn't feel great. I'll be honest, it doesn't feel great. You are going to be able to outrange that Sivir, though. So, eventually, with time. Going to be able to even outrange Campfire Sivir when Milio utilizes the W.
I do kind of feel like, even though I really like the Tarek pick, I don't think I like it for the player. The support for Team Braum, that's a lot of damage. For Team Braumerica, just has had not the greatest positioning, not the greatest rotation, and they've got caught out a lot, like on the Maokai game. They got caught out in a couple of really unfortunate spots there for Tarek. They could have worked out
Oh,
there
nice
to their
dodge!
advantage. Unfortunately, missing the Braum there on top lane, sensing something was up, able to get out just in time. It looks like everybody has rotated. ADCs and supports have gone to the middle lane, and the middle lane has gone to the bot lane there on their side. No real craziness there from the mid laners. Just sort of happy to farm there on their side. Only a small lead on that. But Sivir having that 3-0 is going to try to get some solo plates, and I don't think there's anyone really around to stop them. They don't know where the jungle is, but I don't think they need to worry about Briar too much at this moment, especially because they just saw them blow their ult.
Yeah, not going to be any worries. Sivir getting some plates here as well. Will be Essence Reaver, so no Yuntels on the Sivir. I don't know. I'm kind of hit or miss about Yuntels on Sivir. I think Essence Reaver is great. You know, when you're utilizing your mana a whole lot, allows you to stay, you know, shoving out waves, doing the thing Sivir really likes to do with wave states. But I think, you know, it kind of comes down to player preference and a little bit of comp difference. For me, personally, I probably play Yuntels here because they have pretty decent front line. Is actually ganking the bot lane. Frost going in.
There's the ult there from Frost as looks like they do get taken down, followed into a pretty good stun there by Braum, or not Braum, by Tarek. Tarek actually doing a whole bunch of work here,
way.
But it looks like, unfortunately, they might just get out. Tristana rotating, going over the wall, able to get a kill there on Frost. Frost going down. Trundle just barely threading the needle, just barely getting out, but it looks like, no, they're going to die for it. Tarek gonna get destroyed there, getting a double kill on Trundle. Milio trying to chase down the Tristana, but not able to find the angle that they need as the tower goes down, and that's 8 kills on the board there for their side. Ult by Ornn going for the Nasus. Nasus less than half HP, popping his ult soon there to follow. Ornn trying to bait it out, trying to pull him into the tower, continuing this trade back and forth, but Ornn is on top of this right now.
Getting a replay of what happened to the bot lane. They just blow up the Lux. Lux flashing late as well. Just gets blown up. Honestly, I really thought what's crazy here is because the Briar kind of like split targeted there. Frost was able to live. And Frost gets a little bit of extra damage here. And look at the Briar. Uses the E. Doesn't go off.
I'm confused though right here. Like, Tristana was in a good angle to go for the Trundle. Like, you get the kill on the Trundle, you get the reset, you get out, and then you just get the tower. But Neon was just not maybe confident in his ability. That was a perfect spot for Tristana to mop up some kills, but unfortunately she just didn't find the angle. Even though she saw that her team was tanking the tower, they just didn't take it.
Well, one person's wave clear might be strong, and that's Sivir's, but another is just better. Final Spark utilized on the wave there to clean up the mid wave. As I mean, Lux fantastic at doing so. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm kind of shocked that, Neon wasn't able to find a kill there, but, you have these nerves, especially when back is against the wall, and little replay here. Stealthy, no flash once again, and a really
Briar's
nice
getting
killer
caught
here.
up.
And also the
Getting taken
Tarkles,
down.
just really nice soccer ball kick coming out of back, making sure that the Tark ultimate doesn't land onto the Briar. Also, be on the lookout for anti-heal later in the game, as I expect Mortal Reminder to come in third here for Sivir, maybe even potentially fourth, since going towards the Navori Quick Blades. Second won't be IE.
And Cooper doing a really solid job in, at the very least, in these last two games. Not that he did bad in the first one, but the last two games have been really, really solid. He's now 7-0 now on his side. And on Trundle, that's very, very frightening. Trundle's very, very powerful. He's very strong. And once he's got kills on him, he does a lot. And now Sivir's also got 3 kills on their side. They're beginning to trickle off a little bit, but I think they still have an advantage on their side. It's about a 5k difference on that side. Frost trying to get a little damage here on Tarek. Tarek going to try to go in and do something, but just not able to keep it up. His stun's going to be down, but it should be up for the upcoming... No, that's actually not going to be a Drake fight. Drake has already gone down 2 to Monkey. Looks like I did miss that at some point.
Yeah, they pick up mid-tier 1, get this invade in top side. Really nice between worlds used by Frost there to just bounce his health back away to safety. Top tower
Rotation.
is now being looked at.
On Nasus.
And,
Trundle proxying the wave. This is going to be a 4-man gank here on this Nasus.
I don't know if they have the time for this. Subjugate is available.
There's going to be Ornn ult knocking up the Nasus. Nasus going down about half HP. Ornn absorbing so much of the damage. Trundle getting a kill. Briar going to come in, but unfortunately, it's just going to be a delivery service to her death. She's really going to watch out for his Trundle. Goes under the tower for her. Tristana being by herself, not able to get in a great enough angle. There's going to be Tarek here, but he's too little, too late.
Oh,
Tristana
nice
trying to get
again.
out of it, trying to get a little bit stunned. Tristana might just barely be able to thread the needle, but Braum's going to die for it. There's the invincibility, but it's only going to delay his death, as just Cooper got just another kill on his side.
You know, if I'm being honest, I think he actually should just toss a shutdown away towards Tarek here. It's pretty meaningless. And you say flash. But yeah, once again, monkeys. Just completely taking over the game. Very similar to the last game. As, yeah, just such a wonderful play coming out. Really solid dive. Was a little spooky on how they bounced it to Key here. Key is going to start taking tower damage thanks to Otto didn't step out enough from the tower. But Neon just not able to really do anything in time. And yeah, just another solid play from Monkeys here. Monkeys, I mean, Monkeys look so solid in these last 2 games. Like, it's just so hard to see a way out, see a light for Braumerica. And that light is definitely dwindling for sure. They're going to need to find some kind of solve here quickly. Otherwise, we're going to get a repeat of last game.
It's definitely looking like that so far. And still, the more and more I think about this, the more and more I think why he went Tarek. Like I said, I think Tarek is a good pick, but maybe not for the playstyle. He's 0-6. And granted, he has tried a lot of this. Trundle going in, going for the Nasus. There's the pillar, trying to lock him down, and he's going to get another kill. He's going to be 11-0. It's not even a competition. This Trundle is absolutely massive. Monkeys are absolutely massive. It's 32k to 26k on their side. Shelly going to go down to the bot lane there on that side as they mop up the Drake, going for that Drake point. Going to give them 3 so far on their end, and it's just really not even a competition over these objectives. Every single one of them so far, it looks like, has gone to Monkeys, and rightfully so. I just... Team Braumerica has had a really hard time of it. Shelly trying to back its way out, trying to do some Tokyo drifting, getting some decent knockups, rotating around, going for the back line, going for the Lux. Lux going down about half HP, having to flash their way forward. Briar going to go down. Shelly absorbing a whole bunch of damage there from the tower as the turret goes down, leaving only 2 remaining. This game might already be over as they do a bit of a tower dive. Ornn going in, but taking a whole bunch of damage there from it. Just needs one more shot.
1 HP.
Also getting really close. Nass is in a great position to mop them up. It looks like indeed he's going to get 1, not 2 shutdowns there on his side. That's going to be great on his side. They're going to have a hard time turning it into anything else, but now at the very least, they've got some gold in their pockets.
Yeah, they do find some gold. They lose their bot tier 3, but they don't lose the game, most importantly. Here, Tristana is scaling. Farming quite okay, actually, so not the end of the world here. As just a little over-aggressive, I feel like, coming out of Monkeys. Had to happen some point, right? This just being the point. Doesn't mean too much, at the very least, unless they start throwing again, but right now, tossing over some gold. Not ideal. Giving shutdown to Nasus, not necessarily the best thing, and giving a kill over to the Tristana, who, for the most part, has been very quiet in this game. Not ideal, but oh well, happens. Dust yourself off, Monkeys, and get back in there. Baron not even up for another 6 minutes. Key actually getting ganked.
Briar going for a little bit of assault here, trying to lock down that Sivir. Unfortunately, missing his ult. That's going to be devastating as Lux TP's in. Trundle coming around over on the backhand side. Numbers are definitely in in Team Braumerica's favor, but that's going to quickly change here rather soon. There's going to be a pillar there as they kite and do eeny, meeny, miny, mo, and trying to find some sort of target to go for. Pretty decent ult there for Taric. Taric still struggling here to keep up with these fights as Briar gets isolated and destroyed. Nasus going for the Trundle, trying to get the shutdown, but they can wait. They can bide their time as Ornn kills the Lux with his ult. Aurora going for the Nasus. Nasus going down about 20-30%, going to get taken down by Frost. Getting a kill, finally getting some gold in his pocket, and things are not looking good for Team Braumerica as 4 of them go down, and now their towers are under danger, or in danger.
Yeah, 20-3 is the scoreline right now. And Trundle 11-0-8, the Sivir 6-1 as well. Also, kind of unsung hero here, MacMin's 15 kill participation. No deaths, no kills. That's what you like to see out of your support player.
Milio very strong here with all of this team, able to just sort of tip those dominoes in the background, and I think they've done a fantastic job. Their Qs could have been a little bit better, but everything else has been really, really on point. Briar going to go in. I say that right as Milio gets a really good Q on the Briar as Briar tries to go in. There's going to be isolation there for Ornn, trying to slow him down, but it's not going to be enough as they get a little bit too close. Tark, too close in range, just absolutely absorbing, doing a whole bunch of damage. Frost trying to get some kills before they escape. That's going to be 2 down there on their side, and now they're going to go for the fountain turrets. Fountain turrets are absolutely melting, going to go down, going to get destroyed. That's going to be 1 killed. Q there on top of the Trundle, but Trundle does not care. She's going to follow up with an ult of her own. Nass is trying to get out, but he's going to get destroyed there by just Cooper. Cooper doing so much damage, following certainly behind Key, leaving Lux by himself. And this is going to be games, folks. Aurora going under the fountain, going to get destroyed in him. Or sorry, Nexus. Oh my God, Nexus going down.
Wow.
Having a stroke on my end, but that's going to be a 3-0 lead for Monkeys.
Yeah, 3-0. Quick, easy one. Game 1, not so quick. A little messy, but Monkeys get this one done. Congratulations, Monkeys. Congrats on winning the finals, of course. Really well played. We're going to have some player interviews coming in at some point. But yeah, really well played from Monkeys overall. These last 2 games were just so one-sided. I feel like
night and day.
So
from the first game,
so
for sure.
dominant. Yeah, so dominant for Monkeys. Monkeys really woke up, and when they did wake up, I feel like there was just no chance, nothing Braumerica could even do to get themselves back in the game. And yeah, just a really, really, really solid series overall from Monkeys. Even holding down for the Smolder to do 111k in the first game, like
yeah,
they were able to hunker down long enough to be able to win that game. Definitely well deserved.
Well, and I thought from that first game that the MVP was going to be either Frost or was going to be Key. The Galio on Frost's side was very, very solid. Granted, it wasn't a crazy amount of damage, but it still was very, very solid. So I expect to see a lot more from that. I didn't expect just Cooper to pop off. I did get DMs right before this started from a friend of mine who knows the team, and he was like, "You got to keep an eye out for Cooper." And I should have been watching them a little bit closer because indeed they put in a lot of work, both on the Deer and, of course, on Trundle on their sides doing so much. I think over here in the background, and I'm gonna wait for someone to talk in my ear to see if we're gonna get a interview. I don't know if we're going break and then interview with the winning team. Okay, so it sounds like we're gonna go on a quick break, and then we'll be back with the winners, monkeys, of course, either talking to their coach or their captain or their top players. Either way, we'll see you in about I don't know 2 3 minutes. And welcome back once again, summoners. We are here with Frost, the mid laners from Monkey, and of course, the jungle, Mr. Cooper on their side. Aussie will be handling the interviews, and I'm going to be sitting here looking pretty. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone. Welcome in, Frost and Cooper. Both of you played really well this series overall. So
Thank you.
congratulations to both of you. But let's get this started. Game one. This is for both of you, but we'll start with Frost. Game one. I'm gonna need a rundown of what was happening. Like, what were the comms? Why did we draft in the way that we did? Especially giving yourself no damage outside of Smolder scaling. That was a choice I felt like. But go ahead, Frost, and then Cooper, you can respond after Frost is finished.
I think something that I find myself getting really caught on whenever I play, or like for example, Galio in that game, I think it looks a little better if I go a triple mask build, but I kind of picked Galio for the wrong reason of just trying to be a CC bot and help keep the Smolder life, which ended up working in the end. But I think that kind of made the game a little harder on our side because it made it to where Smolder had to be the sole damage, and we were picking Renekton blind into a variety of counter picks that could happen. So I think I was putting a lot of chips on the basket of me getting ahead on Galio and then kind of building damage. But I decided that once I saw 3 AP champs in the game, I thought that I would just switch to something different.
Okay. Coop, now the floor is yours. You can talk me through about game one, things about like the Smolder, the draft thoughts, whatever you have. Go ahead.
I honestly really like that draft a lot. I think Allfire, who's been helping us out for the last couple weeks, did a really good job with that one. The only thing that kind of blew past us was that we might have to play it into a Lowy. I was really confident with the way it would function, just like on our side in isolation, but it was difficult for us to ever have something that could deal with a Lowy. Maybe that could have been something else that we would have had problems against, but coming out of that game, I knew that we would not have the same type of problem out of top lane, even if they had counter, because it wouldn't be a Lowy if
Right.
we wanted to draft like that again. So
Yeah, I
I do
hear you.
like the draft. I just think that maybe we could have found a way to take something a little bit better top lane, but it can be tough. We just weren't thinking about the fact that they could pick Alawi.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, it's tough, especially when you have to blind pick your top lane, right? Like that's just a hard position to be in. But yeah, I mean, you guys were able to pull through. But enough about the 51-minute banger and more about these. You guys finishing the game in a shorter amount of time combined than the game one. Cooper, game two, you got your Lilia, and it was just, I mean, it was game over. Like you got you got the Lilia game over. Talk me through it.
It's kind of how it felt for us too, just with the results that we've had this season. We kind of know that it's going to be pretty automatic as long as we don't blow the rest of the draft down the line. But I mean, just after game one, we kind of fixed the few things that we needed to do a little bit better in the early game, and then after that, we were just kind of able to play downhill as a group. It was definitely like a good game individually, but we just had like a lot of stuff around me that set me up really well today from the rest of the guys.
Fair enough. I mean, it definitely showed. Like Jesus, I did not want to be on the rift with that deer. That's all I gotta say. I like that was absolutely just a beatdown. Frost in that game, playing Yone into the Vex. Talk. What was your experience? Let me have it.
I every single time I see this matchup, every single time, I love it because it's a matchup that textbook wise, Vex does well to Yone. However, once you get the side lanes, and if you know that matchup well enough, you can turn that into a Yone favored matchup just because you outscale him. Which, as soon as I saw the Vex lock in, I was more than thrilled. I played against Nightmare on Vex. I played against Draken before in that matchup and in other finals. I've played against Vex probably most out of any other counter known out there. So anytime that I see it, I'm more than happy to play against it. And I think I did relatively well making sure that Vex couldn't be a problem, especially whenever it came mid game.
Yeah, I think so as well. Also, to highlight someone not here in the interview with us, I think Mac Mittens at the first team fight around that dragon actually completely just broke open the game because Mac was literally there guarding off any kind of Vex play with the ult, and then flashes over the wall to get away from the Vex to not die. That was fantastically played. So some glaze there for Mac. That's not necessarily here, but yeah, Game three, I was a little tad bit worried for you guys in draft, but I mean, you guys were able to just straight up stomp here. The Nasus was a non-factor. Neon also struggled a lot to really get going. I think for you guys, like the last question I'm gonna have, simply just overall for game three, how are the vibes? Like, how are comms? Like, game one was kind of tiring. Game two was great. How are the comms and how are the vibes in game three?
It was pretty good. I think that the mood was pretty upbeat because I mean we established the kind of lead that we wanted very early with the bot lane 3v3 play they gave us. And then after that we kind of knew it was going to be just like the last one. And it was going to be a really easy game to play out. I mean, I think by game 3 everybody was pretty relaxed and kind of just knew what we were all going to do and how it would go if we didn't make any big mistakes. So I think the mood was pretty bouncy, all things considered, especially compared to game one. We were exhausted after that.
Yeah, Frost.
I mean, the last few weeks have been something of a reawakening for me in the sense of I think that every single one of us as a player have gotten better and better week by week. And I think that that's something you can see in our gameplay. I think that's something that you can even see game by game. And I think we did a really good job of kind of staying even headed and not really letting the unfortunate things and things that make stuff really shaky really turn in our favor and just mentally boom us like it has before. It's a really special group of guys with me, and I'm honestly proud to be with them along the way the entire time.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so since that was my last question about the games, now I'm gonna do my interviewer favorite. I've done it time and time again. It's kind of my tradition. I'm gonna open up the floor to both of you to shout out whoever you want, anyone you want to shout out, anything. Just let me know. But we're gonna start with Cooper, and then we'll move to Frost. Cooper, the
Um,
floor is now yours. So do whatever you want.
already gave a big thank you earlier, talking about how good of a job he did. But All Fire helped us out for the last few weeks with prep, and that meant quite a bit. Um, a few other people on the team that I want to shout out is first off Feathers and Fur. There is no way that we would have made it through this season, or even I would have personally, to be completely honest, without him being there for me and also filling in top lane for us in like half of our scrims. How much he helped us out meant so much. Nanites as well. He couldn't be here today due to some schedule stuff, but he really kept us afloat when we went through some tough times, and it means the world to me that he did. And also just everybody back in Literal Monkeys, but especially Paul and Colonel. Those guys believe in me a lot, and it's why I want to try so hard to do well. And this is a good start, but we can definitely keep doing better, all of us.
Frost is your cue to speak.
I mean, I was kind of I was thinking a little bit. That's all. But I mean, shout out my teammates. Obviously, my teammates are insane. I mean, I appreciate them giving me the opportunity, especially going into the season. I had no idea entirely what my team plans would be at one point. They ended up picking me up under their wing. They ended up sticking through some of the really rough patches I had with this roster, and grew with me as well. I think that kind of goes unnoticed, big time. Shout out Allfire for helping us big time as well with the draft, especially last few weeks, because it was an issue we had all season at times. And yeah, shout out the entire Monkeys organization. Honestly,
Shout out Night City going 3-1 on Monday.
Heard that. Heard that. Okay, well, congrats to you guys again. I'm gonna toss it over to my co-caster here, who's just been patiently waiting and listening in. Thank you. But Corey, you can take us away, and we can say our good nights.
You sort of already did a shout out, but I wanted to ask y'all one thing, sort of as a team, and this can either be directed towards Cooper or Frost. I assume this won't be your only tournament, your only league going forward. So, in the upcoming leagues and the upcoming tournaments, do you have anything to say to your future opponents before we close you out?
Bandolilia.
Yeah, for sure.
Words of warning, ban the deer, definitely understandable. Either way, we're going to turn out the Berserk Leagues. We're going to end it out over here. I've been your host for the evening, Korak, joined today by Mr. Aussie Cast. I really appreciate you all joining here for us. Join us on the next ones later on. Have a good one.